Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this new guest Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. This sports program starts right now. Sports are happening.
Yep. Well,
And whenever we say that, what we mean is there is competition taking place on a field somewhere at some time. And it is sometimes electrifying, most of the time a little bit boring. But the time is now for us to enjoy the sports chatter about everything happening around every other big-time league. No offense to Major League Baseball. I think even MLB fans know there's 7,000 games left.
Yep.
And this is really the mid-time where I guess the Reds could get hot.
That's true.
The Reds could go on a run. Oh, my God, the Reds are a team of destiny. Holy
That's
shit,
right.
Kirk Herbstreit's front row looking very cool. But they can still collapse completely, not even make the playoffs.
It doesn't even matter.
So these games, there isn't really any, kind of consequence to any of them. So it's tough for some of us to sit around and watch. Right? All right, now, his next pitch is one that is going to be very important.
Look out for the clock.
We saw 2 weeks ago, and then ball. All right. He will step onto the mound. 1-1, obviously, here. The hitter that we're looking at here is a strike. Okay.
Uh-oh.
1-2 here. All right. Now, I wonder if he'll go back to that same pitch there. Has to have a good read on it. Foul.
fought it off.
Still 1-2 here. Not bad. Next pitch. What do we think he's going to go with? He's in a favorable position. He could really get aggressive with this one. Maybe throw some junk. Ooh, ball.
Ooh.
2-2. 2-2.
Oh,
Holy
look
shit.
out.
All right, I'm wondering if he's going to be able to see it here. Obviously, make a break. Don't want to go into a full count. Foul! 2-2.
Good battle to play.
Oh, my
His
God.
average 2-2 count.
So this is something we've been talking about the pitch clock. We wondered if these at-bats were going to get slower. Ooh, hey, time from the batter. Okay, he's allowed to take one of those.
Took it. Right time.
Yep.
He's back in now. All right. See, that is an interesting thing. We've been wondering about whether or not. Ball! 3-2, full count. All right, here we go.
Okay, gotta come to him here.
Clean the cleats. Here we go. Clean the fucking cleats.
Runners are moving.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom. He's back in there with at least enough time there. Looking at, time. All right, we're taking a break.
Okay, pitcher takes his.
All right, let's get back in here now. We got the rosin. Foul! All right. Full count still.
Yep.
Obviously, we have moved past midnight already on the East Coast of this game going on at this at-bat. And strike! He's got him. One out in the bottom of the sixth. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking tough to watch. Okay?
Terrible.
We just did it as a sports talk show. I couldn't even imagine any show ever thinking about doing that ever in the history because of how boring it sounds. That's what people are expecting me to sign up for. I can't fucking do it.
Nope.
Okay, I appreciate when they go to that farm in Iowa. It is a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I like that the visuals and the optics and the environment seem to be electrifying. And I've enjoyed this College World Series over there in Omaha. There's been comebacks and great tales, and I guess there's double elimination sometimes and then not any other time. And it feels like it is electrifying. I enjoy it. But god damn, there's no sports on right now.
No, there aren't.
So whenever we're talking about sports, what we're talking about is all the stories and the chatter happening around the sports. The draft for the NBA is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Guess who we're going to have on the show today?
Who's that?
Who's that?
Adrian Wojnarowski.
The Woj bomber?
Yeah, Woj-bomb.
Whoa.
Wojnarowski. Adrian
Wojnarowski.
Woj?
I'm going to be honest. This is the first time I've seen the full name written out right here. I thought he was related to the Wojnarowski.
Oh, like Gene.
Yeah, he is not.
No.
These are different.
Different guy. They kind of look like they might be brothers or cousins or something like that.
Both
Yeah.
Polish.
Same.
Definitely.
So that's a different last name. Anyways, Adrian Wojnarowski, who in 2010 was voted.
He was voted the worst sports reporter or sports taker in the media in 2010.
When he was working for Yahoo.
For his criticism of LeBron James. Bias is what they call
So
it.
then he goes to ESPN in 2017, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know basketball that much. I assumed the Woj bomb was a thing since like 2010.
Yeah, me too.
So when I heard he was at Yahoo and then he got hired to ESPN in 2017, then obviously he says "fuck you" to a Republican.
Yep.
That was sweet.
In 2020, now we're in 2023. It just seems like the Woj bomb has been around forever, and I guess it probably has been in some circles. But he's only been at ESPN for 6 years. I mean, that is
crazy.
That is a wild thing. Can't wait to chat with him. I don't think we've ever had him on this program. We are a Shams program. Everybody knows that.
Yep.
But whenever you're talking about having the opportunity to chit-chat with a guy who seemingly knows everybody in the NBA and ESPN's covering the draft.
Yep.
I mean, this was a good conversation to have. Thankful for it. We'll have 10 minutes of Woj today.
Okay.
You know who else we got today doing draft coverage for the NBA?
Who's that?
He's on TV right now on ESPN. I don't know what he's saying.
No
I'm
way.
sure this conversation's going to be the exact same as there. Jay fucking Bilas.
Illustrated.
Come on.
He's a white that went to Duke, who's a lawyer.
Yep.
Quotes Jeezy every morning on his Twitter account.
Pretty cool.
Has sweet shoe game, covers college basketball. Also, this is his
21st, I believe.
21st NBA draft. He should have some information on the other three players other than just Wemby, Scoot, and Brandon, which that's probably the only thing we'll talk about.
Sure, yeah.
But I can't wait to chat with him. That's a good guy. I think we've had a couple drinks before, he and I.
What?
Okay.
I think we've had a couple beers together.
What?
I might have had a whiskey.
What?
That was it.
Okay. Just one.
It was quick.
Responsible.
Still good.
Yeah, I felt like an adult.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer from Duke.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if old white trash pack comes in there and just gets him blacked out drunk for whatever he's supposed to do?
Can't have
I
that.
believe he was the one that actually bought the beer and the whiskey.
What?
Anyways, we'll ask him.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah.
And then we have Adam Schefter on.
Okay.
Hey, full ESPN Rolodex today.
Yeah.
Okay, full ESPN Rolodex here. Shefty is obviously in the news because he's the one that generates a lot of the news alongside Ian and Tom and Garofolo and Field Yates and Jeremy Fowler
Yep. Darlington.
and Jeff Darlington, Diana Rossini, and Jordan Schulte.
Yeah. Maz
of course.
Maziano.
Maziano, certainly an insider.
Alan Hahn.
Bro, Schultz just got so jacked up that we were doing all those things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just dropped him. Have you seen his Instagram? He's got an interesting little strategy he does. Now, granted, we run clips from sports and everything like that on our Instagram. Shout out to Gump out there doing the Lord's. Schultz actually, like somebody will post a video on their Instagram.
Yep.
And then 4 to 5 seconds later, I don't know how he does it. It's an incredible thing.
Quick.
He just rips their video and puts it up on his.
Like a sweet IG caption.
On top of it.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, you're almost beating the person to their own video. It's phenomenal. I'm following 15 people following Schultz.
Right.
And it's not like breaking news. It's like, hey, this is this person's life that's happening right now with Schultz's kind of opinions on top of it. It's an interesting follow. Schultz is doing it, Schultz.
He
Yeah.
is. He is.
Have you seen his split screen that he does where he says that he, something over here and then he waits and he goes, and he points down.
really?
I did not know he has a point down.
It's so sweet. He'll run something that just came out and then he'll say, and I had this to say, and then he'll freeze frame like this for the whole video and then he'll talk on the bottom.
So you kind of look like with that new hair, which I guess we should get into. Anyway, Schefter's on.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook was on his podcast, the Adam Schefter podcast. That is a thing.
Yep.
And
Sure.
I assume that thing could break news anytime it wants to.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
If Schefter really wanted to. Dalvin Cook said, love to play alongside DeAndre Hopkins. Love, wouldn't mind it at all.
Okay.
That could potentially happen at a place right now, especially depending upon what these two guys are looking at in the market. Some people have said that DeAndre Hopkins is going to be looking for the biggest paycheck. DeAndre Hopkins hasn't said that, though. He has not come out and said that at all. Then there's people reporting, well, he's going to want what Odell Beckham Jr. wanted. He just signed for 15 or whatever, up to 18.
Yep.
Why would Nuke think anything differently than what OBJ just got? He's played more recently than OBJ. He obviously is the only person that is a weapon on some of the teams that he has been on and been very productive. He is going to expect that type of money. It's like, well, the timing of everything, situations are situational.
That's right.
Nuke knows that.
Yep.
He's probably learning that as he's taking his trips. Maybe the money won't be that good. So do you take good money and then do a prove-it year, and then bang, whenever you're able to hit the actual free agent cycle, whenever there's really money available from teams, you'll be able to go and hit it. So that would mean he's looking for a good situation, a good team, primetime games probably. You always want to win a Super Bowl in the year. You're trying to prove it.
For sure.
You go somewhere else because if you win, there's enough going on. And what if Dalvin Cook's in the same situation? Now, people have assumed because Dalvin Cook's not taking any visits or doing anything like that, that he has a plethora of options. We would agree because he's fucking Dalvin Cook.
So good.
But if Dalvin Cook finds himself in one of those situations as well, where it's like, hey, probably going to have to just do a year thing here because we don't know what the future is and we're not able to offer you as much money as you are currently worth because the timing in which this whole thing took place. So maybe he takes a deal that's like, all right, let's get on a team that's going to be good and that's going to be in prime time and that potentially wins a Super Bowl because that supersedes everything that you could possibly figure out for the next contract when teams are just looking for, hey, LaShawn McCoy got picked up by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Bingo.
You know what I mean? Still, but even without playing in Kansas City, don't know what the reason was.
Yeah.
No. He has said
He's
some
given a
things.
couple of his opinions about it. But
He's awesome.
Him and Eric, the enemy.
Yeah.
There it is.
He's awesome. And the enemy said, I do not care what is outside of these walls.
No.
Okay, the noise outside, I have to listen right here. And I'm like, oh, the enemy hates.
oh yeah,
Does
He
not
hates
like
the
those guys hate each other, not for sure.
Yeah. they do.
Anyways, but at least think about what happened with him from Kansas City down to Tampa Bay, his job, let alone if Dalvin Cook goes in and does well, they win, next deal could be it. So you would see a team like Kansas City Chiefs, Brett Veach, figuring out how to fucking get DeAndre Hopkins and Dalvin Cook onto their football team.
Yeah.
And it would be Pacheco and Dalvin Cook in the background, in the backfield. And then it would be tight end university, tight end of the year, Travis Kelce. With Nuke. They got Kadarius Toney, who they're starting to get into the offense more and more, let alone his return game. Mecole, is he still over there?
He's with the Jets now, but MVS is over there now.
There's the deep threat MVS off the top of it. It's like, yeah, and of course Patrick Mahomes will be able to have a never-ending supply of electrifying weapons.
Yeah.
And I don't know why every other team isn't trying to do what they're doing. And I know Kadarius Toney was supposed to be the next Tyreek Hill. Supposed to be the next Tyreek Hill. Well, he was at the Giants, he wasn't.
No.
Joe Judge calling plays.
Setting up for punts, which I like, but not everybody does.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kadarius Toney has a hamstring.
What?
Traded to the Chiefs.
What?
Feel good.
Yep.
Wow, legs feel
Feel
great.
good. Let's go ahead and do this. So the Giants technically had a Chiefs-like player. And then they said, it doesn't work. Let's get him the fuck out of here. And the Chiefs were like, thank you. You run a 4-2? Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take him.
Are you untackleable? Thank you. Come on here. And then at quarterback, we got the next one. So we have an offense coordinator who knows every single play in the history of football.
Yes.
Like, actually.
Yeah. All of them.
Have a smarter, all of the plays in the history of football. Offensively. I don't know how we're going to have to try him defensively.
Yeah.
Maybe though.
Who knows?
There's a chance.
Offensively, he knows every play in the history of football, and he's a good play caller. Like in games, good play caller, knows who and what to attack and how to attack it. We have a bunch of smart players. Like the core of our players, all incredibly intelligent. So we can change up our game plans. All we need you to learn, if you're not a super genius, 4 or 5 things, and we're going to be good. It's a perfect setup in Kansas City. And if they end up with Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, that'll suck.
Okay? Because they should both be in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Hey, right.
And I'm not the only fan of a team that is thinking that.
Y'all got the money.
We'll talk to you. We do, and we got the time.
Well,
we got nothing but time. We got nothing but time. We paid a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of money that's going to carry for us the next few years. I believe we're still kind of being punished for the Carson Wentz contract, let alone the Matt Ryan one coming in here after.
Right, sure.
So we got some shit to deal with, all right, Pac? But it would be great if another team, not just the best team, was to get involved in these types of things, and it feels like all roads are pointing to a very good squad. The Talks Table is here, at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tyreek Diggs is here, 14-year NFL vet, rocking a West Virginia football shirt.
Hell yeah.
They have a team?
Football.
Really?
Yeah, West Virginia basketball right now is kind of tearing the entire university apart.
Well, I saw some Instagram posts, but
Yeah, not just some. There was.
It ain't that bad.
Well,
he had a couple pops sue him. He's an avid recycler. No one's fucking talking about that.
We sure gonna miss him.
Man.
I mean, is this West Virginia?
This is not what we wanted in West Virginia.
it's that Gee's guy's fault. That's who it is.
We do not need this. Is what I'm saying, though.
You fucking people in Pittsburgh.
Is anyone in West Virginia
You
driving
fucking
around?
people in Pittsburgh.
No, hey, listen,
Gordon
It's
Gee.
you people in Pittsburgh.
If you hillbillies would stay down there in the mountains, we wouldn't
That's
have
what he
this
should've
problem.
All right, we are talking right now for those that don't know, which could potentially be anybody that's watching right now.
Right.
Coach Bob Huggins,
Legend.
formerly of the West Virginia University Mountaineers.
Wow.
Grew up in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Played basketball at WVU.
What?
His love of basketball would take him into coaching, where he was a hard ass. We're talking like Bobby Knight, I do believe, back in the day.
Yeah.
Intense, loved it. Goes to Cincinnati, has great success.
Yeah.
Great success. Now, when he's at Cincinnati, there was a time where he had too good of a time, and then he made the irresponsible decision hopping in a car, getting a DUI, doing some other stuff like that. So he did build up a reputation as a guy who's from Morgantown, West Virginia, who likes to have a couple pops every once in a while. And then when he does that, he makes the bad decision. We don't think anybody should do this, especially now, Jesus Christ, with Uber and Lyft and everything. Getting in a car, very irresponsible. A lot of people have died from. I have 2 friends that have passed away from drunk driving incidents. So it's like very, very dangerous. Now I think it's viewed much differently than it was back in the day. But nonetheless, had the reputation of being a little bit of a boozer.
Sure.
A little bit.
This guy's a boozer. So he has success in Cincinnati. West Virginia has a job opening. Boom. We hire the hometown hero.
Smart.
He came in and took in the state.
Yes.
Because he had a lot of pride in the state because he was from the state. He started taking the team down to the coal miners to go see them and go around the state so you learn who you were playing for, what you were playing for, and everything like that. He would do these foundations and fish fries where he would raise millions and millions of dollars for the kids of West Virginia University. Like, he took a lot of pride in being a West Virginia kid who's coaching West Virginia to the world in a display of West Virginia. So whenever he ends up resigning, but everybody kind of understands what this was. And I assume Huggins was like, man, I've been fucking up too much lately. After what happened with the radio thing, I should just kind of get out of your guys' hair. And I got some shit to work on. I've been in basketball a long ass time. So whenever he resigns and people feel as if he's forced out, it has gotten loud over there.
Oh, yeah.
Huggins is beloved. Huggins is a West Virginian. Huggins has owned and appreciated the fact that he's from West Virginia. Yesterday was West Virginia Day, I do believe. The state, people forget that it left the South. It left Virginia to join the Union or whatever. It became a state. West Virginia Day celebrated very recently. So they see one of their own who they can get past him boozing because they knew whenever he got hired he was a boozer.
Yeah.
But I do believe there was a clause in there like he wasn't allowed to drive, though, for a little bit.
I would assume so.
Had to have a driver, which I think they did have a driver for him. So now everybody's pissed at fire the fucking president.
Yeah, that's right.
Instead of
bring Huggy back.
Yeah, this is from a Facebook post, but this guy is not like the only one. Like there's quite a movement happening in West Virginia. Right
It was
now.
loud yesterday.
Very loud.
Real loud.
About DUI, .251. Okay.
They
Sue
won't.
them. Well, they are.
Yeah.
They arrested him. But also, I would like to, as somebody that went to West Virginia, knows people in West Virginia, but nowhere near a mouthpiece for West Virginia, okay? That I would have to spend a lot more time in West Virginia to claim that or anything like that. And I think we'll get to that stage.
Yeah.
I think we'll get to that stage at some point in the future because good conversation. It's good to be connected to the school that you went to and have a lot of friends and pull for. So, that'll get to some point. The dude had a DUI that's just, absurd.
Yeah.
Pretty
wild.
It's absurd. He just had what happened on the radio a month and a half ago.
It's on very thin ice to begin with.
Yeah, it's like he recognized that, I assume, that's why the resignation thing, because he could have held up and said, no, you're going to have to fire me because I'm sure there's some contractual thing in there. So he even realized it. But this is not what we need in our life right now, West Virginia. No. And it is a bummer that Huggins will not be representing West Virginia anymore because, he truly cared about the state, the university, and he was like a staple almost of fucking West Virginia University. But it happened, and this is a real world, and there's actual consequences. Yeah. It's that can't be, and whoever's next, let's go. Yeah. Whoever's next, let's go and do this thing. But thank you to Hugs for everything he did.
Man, thank Hugs for everything he did for West Virginia. He will always be still one of the top guys there. I think down the road he'll be coming back to do something, I would say, in the West Virginia community one day. But we're gonna miss a good one. He had a good run though.
And I think this had to happen.
Yeah.
I would like to be on the side of this had to happen. And now, I don't know enough about old Gordon Gee. I know he has that bow tie.
Yep.
People around the university and the state probably know more than I do about what he has done, what he hasn't done. I've seen some people let's talk about your reckless spending.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what I'm I haven't even dove into that.
AJ knows him, I
It's
think.
crazy.
He was at Ohio State.
Yeah.
I do believe that he goes over West Virginia, but we want to let Hugs know we appreciate what he did for West Virginia.
Yeah.
But also, I think Hugs understands this. He's not getting offended by this. This is just the outcome whenever something like this happens.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't drunk drive to begin with, but there's a difference between being drunk and blowing a .09 and being drunk and blowing a .25 or what. It's hey, hey, that's way beyond. That's more than a few pops. That's
As somebody that blew a .15 at 4 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was kind of held over my head a little bit by both parties. The people that were my friends were like .15.
Really? Okay.
Kind of calling me.
Lightweight.
Yeah, like after.
Wow.
That was unbelievable.
4 a.m.
That was something I did not expect. So obviously embarrassed my whole family, everything, get arrested, public intoxication, whole deal. Probably going to get fired, not going to have a job, whatever. Call my dad from jail. He hangs up on me, whatever. It's bad. It's bad. Everything's bad. Everything's bad. Everything's bad. I go out. I don't have my phone's broken, water damage, alleged story that the cops gave that I was in there.
Sure.
So my dad shows up at the house like a couple hours later. We talk it out, great conversation, really a pivotal moment in my life. I'm kind of down in the dumps for a few days. Then I get my phone back, and I have like 6 text messages from people that I've met from like college, Plum, and like ventures of parties.
Sure.
It was like, nice message. Like, hey, buddy, sorry you went through this whole thing. Obviously, the other side of this is going to be much better, and we're pulling for you if you ever need anything, ... .15 was surprisingly low, though. And then, like, a send, and I'm like, these motherfuckers. Like,
What the hell?
How come nobody can take this thing serious? And on the other side, they were like, .15 at 4 a.m., this dude was belligerent drunk, coming after me. When you read .2, I think you're pretty boozed up.
Yeah, I'd say.
I think you're pretty boozed up. And I know there's been people that have blown like .4s and like .3s, and I think there's certain fatality at certain.
That's like on the verge of like alcohol poisoning and dying.
Yeah.
You get up in those numbers.
So .2, I do believe, although
Pretty good.
in the sound, I think he's pretty tuned up.
Yeah, he had a nice night.
I think he was pretty tuned up. Can't be getting in cars in 2023 when that's the case.
No.
There's so many options, especially if you have money.
Yeah.
So there's just like so many things that go into it. We hope he gets the help that he's looking for.
Yeah.
Right? We hope
sure.
hope he gets a chance to rest and kind of recover and everything. But like the people that are just pissed off about him, like, this kind of had to happen. Like, I don't, it's just, it had to happen.
Yeah.
And who knows who we're going to get next.
Exactly.
That's a good job.
Might be someone
It is.
even better.
Could be Coach K. He might come back.
No, he can't win anymore. Remember, he had Zion and like 3 other
Barrett,
guys,
Yep.
and they couldn't win.
Well, now that we know
So-
what Coach K was dealing with, though, with Zion. And
Yeah, who knows who he was texting then?
Oh, you're right. There's probably a lot of smooching going on.
Could have been.
I'd say.
Could have been.
And you heard Jay Redick was on the show, and he talked about how much weight he gained at Duke. I mean,
Yeah, JJ was boozing with the boys every night, remember? He
Oh,
said that to
yeah,
us.
freshman 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
that was what the food court did with Zion.
We have Jay Bilas at 12:40, which is in like 17 minutes. So do we start the NBA conversation now? That gives us way too much time to fuck it up.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Right?
A lot of runway.
That is a lot of time. 17, because I was about to, JJ Redick is a great lead into the Old Man and the Three podcast, great podcast. JJ Redick hosted alongside a man named Jason, I do believe, and they had Wemby on. Wembanyama is going to be the number 1 overall pick for tomorrow night's NBA draft, and he's out of France. He's 19 years old, and they asked him basically about like, a lot of these young guys who get a lot of money and fame and stardom and have had this through a lot of their teenage years. Like a lot of these basketball guys, everybody's known they're going to the NBA since like 13, 14 years old. Now, not all of them end up making it, but the guys that end up making it, I think people have been saying, that motherfucker's going to be in the NBA for a long time.
Yeah.
So pampered, kind of like quarterbacks have been treated here in football, kind of pampered. Everything they want, they're kind of handed to. Now, granted, you're going to have to work to get better, but it's not really an actual life that humans can relate to. Right. You're not the next chosen basketball player. Wembanyama's been that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For years, we've been seeing this guy as, hey, this is the next guy who's probably going to make $1 billion playing basketball.
Yep.
He's going to be the face of one of the biggest leagues on earth.
Yep.
In the sport of basketball, he's going to be able to take it to new heights that, Jordan did his thing.
Sure.
LeBron comes in, does his thing.
What?
Like, there's a chance the Wemby era is about to begin. Now, Kevin Durant obviously has been a massive part of everything he has been a part of. And there's other young studs out there, like
Jokic.
Trey, and Joker's in the middle of his prime right now.
Correct.
But they're talking about Steph is obviously one of the greats. They're talking about Wemby being like the next 20 years of basketball. This guy is going to transform basketball. This guy is going to be the face of it all. So JJ Redick asked him, like, how do you not become like a entitled and grateful bitch, pretty much?
Yeah.
And this was Wemby's answer. And he's 19 years old and has been, I don't want to say handed everything because he hasn't. He's had to work his ass off. But when you're that good at a sport that everybody around you knows is going to make you very wealthy and everybody very wealthy, you're going to be like kind of treated a little differently than everybody else. Listen to this 19-year-old talk, and then how do we buy all the stock in this human before he gets started on his path in the NBA?
We have seen this happen to a number of young athletes who lose, I think, a sense of reality, and they lose that grounding principle of their life. What is your totem?
You know what you just said about young players. This is something I've thought about a lot. I know I'm never gonna turn like this. Like I know I'm never gonna lose a grasp of reality and just do some shit. You know, because I know what I want. Like I'm driven from the inside of my heart, and like nothing can put me out of my path. Like I do everything I do everything I can, so I deserve what I get. And I think some players are really talented, physically or technically, you know, really, really talented. But their mind isn't like as good as their body is. You know what I'm saying? My totem it's something bigger than basketball. You know, it's just life. It's just accomplishing yourself inside this universe. You know, when I need motivation, when I need energy, and I feel tired out, when I need a fight on the court. And it's hard. I always remember, I'm free in that universe. I do whatever I can, and I know what I want to do, and nothing's gonna stop me from doing it. And I always got that in mind. And it doesn't just stop to basketball. You know, it's about life.
Fuck, man.
I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable answer there. And then afterwards, he would say, "I'm sorry, you know, if you misunderstood what I was saying, like I wasn't being clear." And JJ was like, no,
we got you.
Yeah,
we know.
We understood exactly. Second language, obviously, saying those types of things. But whenever he's talking about like, you know, in this universe, I am free to do whatever I want to do or whatever. It's like, yo, this guy's a deep thinker. He's 19. Doesn't seem like a guy now, might be completely wrong. Doesn't seem a guy that's, because I guess the last 10 number one overall picks have not been great. Like here's a guy that could potentially be the guy, and I don't think mentally he's going to fuck him up at all. I don't think.
No, he's still well grounded to me right there in his universe. But you can tell he's been the guy for a long time, like a real long time. I'm excited to see what he do. Like we was talking earlier, Tone. Everybody that's 7'4" that won the league have been superstars and pretty much panned it out pretty good.
Yeah. And if you see a bouncer at 7'4", you got to question their work ethic.
Yeah. Oh, you must have.
At a bar.
Yeah, something happened.
Did you blow both your knees out, all your ankles? What happened? No?
Yeah,
So
you just didn't want it.
No.
Okay.
I just want to work outside bars all day.
Okay.
That's
All
cool.
right, hey, sweet. I'll buy you a beer when I get in there.
I have a cig.
And I understand you'll probably beat me, but I do think I got leverage on you. But I also know you might not be in it for the long haul.
That's right. Might not care enough.
You're 7'3". You should be in the NBA, sir.
Tire you out.
I do appreciate that you're checking for fake IDs right now.
When I be seeing them 7'3" guys, the first thing I do is see, are they walking quack, quack, duck feet?
Yeah.
Then that tell us a lot, right?
Injury, did they get injuries right there? Are they athletes?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can kind of read.
Yeah.
Because if one of those security guys who's 7'3" outside of a bar, who looks so good in that black polo.
Oh, yeah, yoked.
You know what I mean? Completely yoked. Tucked in, belt on, boots too.
Yep.
You know, like he's got boots on. And he's checking that whole thing. How do you not ask when you hand the ID to the person? Like, how'd we get here? You know?
Oh, yeah.
I've had 10-minute conversations that have ended with me being told I'm not allowed in the bar.
What?
It's just because I was so flustered. This one guy was 7'5" seemingly. Now, he was in cowboy boots, so you start doing the math. Those things get you. I was so disappointed. I was like having a conversation with this guy. Like, bro, if I was...
Right.
I mean, all you got to do is just get up and down a court.
Yeah.
That was back in the day whenever they didn't expect. Like, Wemby can pull up, he can shake. Joker can do the same thing. Kevin Durant, 7 foot, doing... Back in the day, it was just like lumber down, hand straight up, get a rebound, pass that thing, lumber back down the other side, and then they're going to pull you out. They're going to pull you out, get a break, go back in, do the same damn thing. That's your role pretty much. Now, Shaq was vastly different. There's centers that were very different. I get it. But it wasn't like it is now skill-wise.
Right.
Just so disappointing. It was big fuck. He's 7'4".
Yep.
Can shake.
Yeah.
can shoot,
What?
Right.
has that mindset.
What?
And they said whenever he was coming up, wasn't he doing like feet
Yeah,
exercises?
he's been doing exercises because the big thing with these guys like Chet Holmgren, we just saw last year, he's a 7-footer. They get these injuries in their feet, their knees. The doctors can't tell them how long they're going to be out because their ligaments are, never really seen by most doctors. So he's been doing these exercises to make sure his lower body and he's not going to get those, little tiny injuries. And he's going to the best situation possible. Like in the NFL, we talk about, sure, this guy could be good, but it's a good situation. Trevor Lawrence, his rookie, or Urban. Wemby's going to play with Greg Popovich, one of the best coaches of all time, if not the best coach of all time. And
pretty good center there for
yeah,
a couple of years.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's working with Duncan and Parker and Ginobili. Like it's already been said that they're going to help him out. Yeah, it's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
Good fit.
He's comically large in that chair.
Bro,
Yeah.
put the picture up of him and JJ. JJ's standing next. JJ's 6'4". Remember, this is the whole, in the NBA, you only see him on TV against other or next to real tall people. Look at that fucking guy.
Crazy.
Shout out to Jason. I think he's the other one. Looking like Rap, but actually being Nick. You know, he just got,
Yeah.
the guy's got no shot.
Yeah, seriously.
Ridiculous.
He's long.
Pack, this guy, goal line on you. Oh my God.
You have no chance.
I know you got that
7'4".
long. I know you got that long middle
Seriously,
finger.
Yep.
You got that long reach, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to get him.
Gonna need 8 of those.
What do you do? A
things.
7'4" guy.
No, because if he reaches his arms up, that means he's 10 feet
At least.
at least. If he jump, I might be in trouble. But if he don't jump, I can get him.
You don't even play the ball. You
grab
his hips and you carry him out of bounds.
Yeah.
Oh, that used to be a rule. No more.
Yeah, no more. You just grab his hips and fucking carry him out
You're
of bounds.
catching the big 7'4" baby.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey,
Gotcha.
come over here. You're doing this whole thing.
big
Would
boy.
you try to jam him? I guess you would have to just jam him.
Of course, I would try to. It depends on where I'm at.
I mean, he's not gonna
If
be
it's like
That guy
if
on the
it's
right, 6'4".
If it's in the red zone, I definitely wouldn't try to jam.
on the goal line. It's impossible. It is
Yeah.
100% of the time a touchdown to Wembanyama.
So that's why you need to start telling about these security guys that are 7 foot tall. Not only do you not have to, you don't even have to be able to put the ball in the bucket anymore.
No.
Just go stand somewhere and have somebody just accidentally throw stuff at you. And if you can catch it, you're just a red zone target.
You're a millionaire.
You're a red zone target. You're scoring touchdowns. Fuck, we need a 3rd and 2, middle of the field, not even red zone.
Yeah.
You're just squirting out.
Exactly.
Boom.
It can be tough.
First down.
It'd be tough to really lay like a
7'4".
big hit on a guy that big too. You're probably wrapping him up and he's just falling awkwardly. I mean, he's just so goddamn big.
Yeah.
If you can get him to take snaps too, he doesn't even have to catch the ball.
thought
He
it
can
was
just take the
Mercedes.
snap and reach over.
How tall was Mercedes Lewis?
6'7".
Yeah.
What'd he do to you?
No, I'm just saying. Like, I'm just trying to compare it.
Well, when we went
That's
through,
another, what is it, 9 inches?
yeah.
9, another fucking foot.
Yeah.
A Mercedes Lewis. 6'6". Jeez.
Well, when we went through that list of wide receivers and the height, 6'8" was the tallest, right? And it was pretty few and far between when we went through it.
Yeah, and now if they open up more roster spots, you might start seeing these
Yep.
bigger guys. Now, the basketball tight end move has been something. Tight end University has started in Nashville, Tennessee. Congrats to Kittle
Yeah.
and Olsen
Go, Greg.
Right.
and Kelsey,
Yep.
who won the first ever Tight End of the Year award from Tight End University. Olsen told us that he voted for Kelsey on the show.
He did.
I don't know if it was already out that Kelsey had won it. He gave a speech and basically just thanked football for this.
Yeah.
It's about everybody else running around. Kelsey is killing life right now,
Yeah.
dominating life. And this weekend, they are down at Tight End University. I believe it's at Vanderbilt in Nashville. I'm sure it's going to be a blast. But they are also, Nashville this weekend.
Yeah. Just put that together too.
Just starting to piece some things together. There's a chance we might be boots on the ground in Nashville this weekend for at least a few moments. What day is it? It's Wednesday?
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
They got to be out of there by the weekend, right? I'd assume that's a long time.
I don't know if they're.
That is a long time.
That would
But
be a long Tight End University if
Yeah.
it was Wednesday through Sunday. So maybe it's the next few days.
Last year, I thought it was on Friday they had stuff, but also they might have moved stuff because of the award.
The award show.
20th to the 22nd.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
They're out of there.
All right, so we'll be in Nashville after the tight ends have done their thing. I do love this, though. Tight End University taking place, obviously brought to you by Charmin. It's not because they're soft, no, it's the opposite. And then you got offensive line masterminds happening. I believe there's some wide receiver groups that obviously work out together. Do the DBs do anything? What do the DBs do?
We don't normally meet up as a group. Not when I was playing anyway. Like, we was cool with other groups, but there's no way that I was going with the Pittsburgh guys to fucking work out. Like,
Sure.
Yeah, that's a different mindset,
it's
though.
a whole different mindset now. as far as guys getting together, working together. But like when we came up, we didn't want to work out with them.
Yeah, it was very weird. When I would want to work out with nobody, and now granted, I punt balls and kick balls, but I didn't want to be around anybody ever. And I would start going to this Coles camp where there was like other guys that were good, and I started seeing the benefit of like watching other people that are good at what they do and like working alongside of them, because you can pick some things up whenever you're watching somebody do like a bunch of reps. I saw Thomas Morstead. He's like a robot. He's like an actual how you're supposed to punt. He does it fundamentally perfect. He's in year 14, and he said he's going to go until the wheels fall off. Yeah. So this dude might punt for 20 fucking years. He's in incredible shape, but I watched him, and my form was shit, but I watched him like 15 times, and I'm like, you start kind of getting at least a hang of it. So I understood why people would work out together, but it didn't feel like any other positions were doing it. Then whenever, I think the DN started, Von Miller started that pass rusher summit or whatever. Oh, yeah. And offensive linemen were pissed. Remember, offensive linemen were originally pissed about this because they're like, why are you telling somebody we're fucking playing how they could beat me? Like, that was still like the team first model. And then now offensive line has a group that they kind of get together. Tight ends have a group that they get together. Quarterbacks are always working together, although we never know about it. Feels like the quarterbacks are hanging out all the time together.
With their guys, though.
With their quarterback coach.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes the agent, like we saw
Tom and Peyton used to.
Yeah, I mean that's.
And we never heard about it. You know what I mean? So I would assume the quarterbacks are potentially meeting, but maybe they're the only group that isn't doing that. But nowadays, it seems like common practice. Go work out with the greats. Let's kind of share secrets. And although people on your team or your fan base might be like, why are you helping somebody from that team how to get better? It's like, well, they're also helping me get better. The better version of me is better for the team. Like, there's so many different angles that you can combat it. I'm happy we're at the point where we're seeing them all come together. But there's some old school people that fucking hate this, everything about it.
How much of an impact do you think, like, they've talked about the tight ends at least, like talking business and, like, you know, the fact that their position is kind of ostracized, and you have guys like Kelsey and Kittle who have kind of broken the glass ceiling and they're getting the big contracts, but it's like, hey, all these other guys, like, we kind of need you to continue to be getting paid and like kind of sharing game in terms of that, and not just on the field stuff, but like really focusing on, you know, like the financials of it and that impact of being in the league.
And what did Olsen say? Olsen said, Titans always fucked us.
Yeah, yeah. Screwed us.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. Speaking of awesome, SlamBall is coming back to ESPN July 21st.
21st?
Yep.
Yeah. Gonna be sweet.
Is that what it is? I believe they made
Same
it.
day as Messi.
Breaking SlamBall has struck a 2-year media rights deal with ESPN. The agreement, July 21st, will provide unprecedented national reach for upstart property returning after more than 20 years, which used to be on Spike TV, I think.
Yep.
Play begins July 21st. As somebody that was 16 when this thing was happening, I was the demographic. Okay, I had somebody down the street that had a trampoline. We trampoline wrestled. We flew around on trampolines.
What?
We would drag trampolines next to other people's above ground pools, and we would fucking fly on said trampolines into pools, doing completely dangerous and absurd shit. Like, that was trampolines are a wild thing just in themselves. Then they created this game. Where they put the fucking trampolines in the basketball court, seemingly. And guys would have to wear pads. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you have to dribble, kind of. And then they're taking off. And while they're jumping on a trampoline, anybody's ever been on a trampoline, if somebody jumps right before you, off balance, you're either going to get a dud or a fucking slingshot. They used to double bounce people. People would be hitting their faces off the top of the backboard because they jumped too high. People getting speared out of midair. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about full speed collisions, adding in a launching pad to create one of the greatest sports of all time.
Yeah.
And then it just disappeared.
Yep.
And when we saw the rumblings that SlamBall was coming back on the internet,
oh, baby,
boy, did we get fucking excited.
So pumped.
You youngs have no idea what you're about to see. And I hope this generation of SlamBallers have the same exact gut sack that these boys had. We're talking about attacking the rim with reckless abandon, knowing that you could break your neck, leg, and arm at the same time. Your body could Tom Segura every single time you take off from the trampoline, and these guys used to do it and get paid nothing for it.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So now that it's back, it's on ESPN. I think people are going to like it. I think we got a good sport coming for us, and I am excited that they are a part of the ESPN family.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good play.
It's jacked up.
This is a good play.
Yeah, and basketball has gotten so much better. So you don't think that these SlamBallers are going to be better too? I assume they're going to add a lot more facets to the game, maybe even more trampolines.
No, I think shooting will be an aspect of it.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
I think people will shoot more than they used to because back in the day, now granted, you had some people that had jumpers 20 years ago. You had people that could shoot, and they would be weaponized in that thing. But it wasn't like today where everybody has to be able to have a jumper to kind of get into it. These guys are going to be shooting the oops from the other side.
Yeah. Ooh, man.
I mean, we're going to do, but I can't wait for the first video that comes out. Boom, boom. And ESPN's going to have to sit on this. They're going to get questioned. When there is a massive...
Yeah.
And there will be.
And you got the fingers, too.
And that thing's going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere. And they're going to say, should we be promoting this sport? And I think all of us will have to say, they know what they're signing up for.
Goddamn right.
And if they don't, they are nuts. Because
joining us now is a man who might be actually on the call. This year will be his 21st NBA draft that he will be covering. Obviously, he's on College game day during college basketball season. He's an absolute stallion out of Duke and a lawyer who quotes Jeezy. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Bilas. Jay, how are you?
I am doing great, gentlemen. This is my first appearance on the show, and I'm sorry I didn't wear a top. I am.
All good.
I feel naked.
No. Well, if you were naked, you'd be closer to a tank top than what you are now, which is very, very handsome. You look amazing. I'm a tank top person, because I got a gut, but I have pretty good arms. So you go ahead and wear this thing to cover it up and make people think you're in shape. You shoot. Handsome man, looking good. You can wear whatever the hell you please coming on here. We appreciate you taking the time. Before we dive into your 21st NBA draft, shout out, hey, you look young, but 21 years, a long time doing something.
Hell yeah.
We'll get into that. SlamBall, coming back to ESPN. Do you remember the SlamBall days, what it was? And is that a sport that you knew about, played, or had interest in 20 years ago when it was taking place?
No, I did not. I did not play slam ball, watch slam ball, just like I am not interested in pickleball right now. Because that is injury. Pickleball is an injury waiting to happen for a guy of my age group.
Well, it is something whenever people, because the first couple you feel good.
Yeah.
So it is like the classic, like, come on. Then you get some unathletic, maybe a little bit overweight whites. They start getting a little bit too comfortable. They're back in their high school days. They start feeling it. And then you go for a thunderball a little bit low, and then boom, your knee gives out.
Yeah.
And I believe that is happening at a rapid rate that people could have never expected. I think you'd be able to handle it. Pickleball is a great sport. SlamBall is as well. Let's talk about basketball. So Wemby's going to go number one. And then people are saying that they want to move up. People are talking about Zion maybe being traded for this absolutely jocks guy named Scoot, whose mom said that she had to bring his birth certificate his entire life because of what he's looked like and how he's played basketball. Seems like these guys talked about more than any draft class in the past. They're all going to be home runs, Jay?
Well, I mean, I think it's a really deep draft, and I agree with you. Like, I think Brandon Miller of Alabama will probably be off the board second to Charlotte because he can really shoot it, and that's going to be the difference. I think he's got size and shooting ability. Scoot Henderson played 2 years in the G League, and he projects a lot like Russell Westbrook at the same age. Now, who knows whether he'll live up to that the same way Westbrook did? He's been an all-time great. But he's really dynamic, and he can get to the rim. He's got a wingspan of a guy 6'9", even though he's only 6'3". He hasn't figured out the shooting part yet. He can make shots, not a consistent shooter, but I think he's going to be the real deal.
Okay, so whenever you think about Wemby now, who obviously is such a fascinating story because every single human in basketball, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, every single human in basketball is like, this is a guy. This is 7'4", can shoot, can shake. Seemingly, after the Old Man and the Three podcast, where we heard him talk about being free in this universe, and when things get hard, I know that I can do and will do whatever I want to do. Seems to be super grounded. Has the entire game. He's been working out his muscles as the tall guys that can kind of get ligament tears. He's been preparing for this for years. He's just the perfect prospect. People are talking about, like, since LeBron got drafted, this is the guy that this is the next one. Is that how you see it? And is there anything that could potentially happen that doesn't make him a perennial NBA All-Star, Jay?
Yeah, he's the best, Pat, that I've seen since LeBron, the best prospect. And I don't want to say it's not close, but I've never seen anything like him on a basketball floor. The only thing I could relate him to would be I played against Ralph Sampson in college when he was the National Player of the Year at Virginia. He was the #1 overall pick in 1983. And Sampson was 7'4", and if he were born 19 years ago, he may be just like Wembanyama, but he wasn't. He was raised in the era where big guys on this end, guards on this end, and you play with your back to the basket, and you weren't allowed really to go out on the perimeter and handle the ball. And Wembanyama is a 6'2" guard in a 7'4" guy's body. And his impact on the defensive end is profound. He's a big-time shot blocker, and it's not just around the paint. He played in the same division in France as Rudy Gobert did, and the number of games were different. I think Gobert played 27 games in that division, and Wembanyama played 34. But in those 34 games, Wembanyama blocked over 50 more shots than Gobert did, and he can switch out onto a guard on the perimeter in a pick and roll and block the shot from the 3-point line. He can give him like 6 feet of space to take away the drive and still recover on a step back and block the shot and certainly influence the shot. The only thing, to your question, the only thing that can derail Wembanyama, in my view, is injury. But he's shown no injury history, and you mentioned it. He's been raised to be a superstar, so he's doing injury prevention stuff that's sort of next level for his age and his stage in the game. You hate to say can't miss with anything, but you certainly feel that way. He's the real deal, and I think he's going to prove it.
Well, congrats to the NBA getting that guy.
Yeah, let's go.
Every league's kind of looking for that.
Yeah, seriously.
And Andrew Luck was kind of what everybody's saying. Andrew Luck is going to be the guy. First year goes to the AFC Championship, obviously. Continues to go to the Pro Bowl. Then he retires 9 days before the season starts. We haven't seen him again. So hopefully, Wemby's, because he was the last can't miss, right? Andrew?
Yeah,
basically,
him or I guess Trevor Lawrence would be
Burrow.
the more.
Burrow, maybe, right?
Maybe, because it was just 1 year with Burrow. But
You were can't miss too. I mean, I remember people saying best since Ray Guy.
No, yeah. People were saying I was can't make in the kicking department. And then who knows if he can figure it out. But that whole can't miss prospect thing is tough mentally too. And it feels like mentally he has it figured out. The only thing that I wonder about is a casual. I'm super casual. Watch every playoff game, though. Okay? Have Michael Malone on his show, so pretty much.
Yeah.
love the guy.
He's got a tattoo. He started shit with LeBron on our show.
Been to the
Shout out.
Suns game.
We basically are part of the Nuggets organization now, so I know basketball. But as a casual watcher up until a couple months ago, small, right? Isn't he small or no? Isn't that or does it not matter? Like if Joker runs into a Wemby, Joker's going to try to go right through his chest, right? That's probably what a lot of people are going to try to do to him because he's a little bit thinner, or is that just a stupid basketball take like old buddy said about that one?
Spoelstra
said, such an amateur fucking thought in basketball. Is that an amateur thought by me to think about that?
No, that's a real thing. But he's got the quickness and length to be able to stay off of someone's body and still be really effective. And the game now is played more in space. So there's better spacing now than there used to be. It used to be a tighter, perhaps more physical game, and a game that was played more in the paint. Now it's played more of a spread game. So I think that helps Wembanyama. What I would say on that point too is this is probably 07, maybe 08, whenever he came out. But we had those questions about Kevin Durant. He's very slight of build. How's he going to take the pounding of the NBA? And that hadn't been a problem. Wembanyama is going to get stronger. I don't think he needs to get bulkier necessarily. It's just a question of his frame conjures up the idea that his durability going to be an issue. But I think we're kind of, at least in my mind, we're kind of grasping at things like, what's the negative here?
Yeah.
It can't be all positives.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much all positives. There aren't a lot of negative. Like the guy shoots 83% from the free throw line. And it's ridiculous how old and talented at 7'4" he is.
Yeah, and we saw him throw a baseball a couple of different times last night on the internet, and Aaron Boone.
Yeah, Boone.
Boone thought that he was potentially going to take a kid's head off. but he did figure it out quick. But anytime you're talking about a 7'4" person and the free throw percentage, like a basketball in his hand looks like a baseball in our hands.
It's absurd.
So being able to have the touch just like that you would have to have from the foul line is impossible to even think about, just strictly due to his build. Last question from me, and I know the boys will have some questions for you. Pop seems to be the perfect coach to go to, right? I mean, he's had, multiple Hall of Fame big men.
Yeah.
The game has changed, though, right? Than the style that they played and the way Tim and Robinson played and everything like that? Or how do you see him kind of fitting into Pop's offense? And what do you think of that relationship immediately?
I think it'll be great. I think any player can play for Greg Popovich. He's one of the greatest coaches in the history of the game. But Wembanyama is a different player than David Robinson or Tim Duncan. Those were more low post guys that operated with their back to the basket most of the time. Robinson could step away a little bit and knock down a perimeter shot, but Wembanyama is more a perimeter-oriented player that can go into the post. And in today's game, he's not going to have to operate as against or being a low post bully, because there aren't that many low post bullies in the NBA now. It's more of a spread game.
Joker. Hey, watching him in the playoffs, he was. Now, granted, he can shoot incredibly and everything that. I was just getting introduced to this dude, and he'd won 2 MVPs, so that's on me, okay? That's 100% on me. Now, granted, the West Coast games, LA, Phoenix, Golden State, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of Denver Nuggets games on, but I saw him, because to your point, I thought that basketball was dead. And then I was introduced to him. He was running his shoulder right into people's chest underneath and then putting it up and getting the calls. I'm like, damn, this dude is beating people up. Do you think, like football, it's maybe going to be cyclical, or you think the space is going to be the way it always goes or continues to evolve into?
I mean, I think space is the way it's gonna be. Now, could there be outliers? Like if Shaq came into the NBA now, you would build an offense around him, and other teams would have to react with personnel to be able to deal with him. But there aren't that many of those guys running around, and teams don't want to put guys down into the low post and clog the middle. Everybody's looking for open threes, layups, and free throws. That's what they're looking for. And having a spread floor gives you the opportunity to drive it, draw help, and then play out of it. So I think that's the way most teams are going to play. Smaller players are more effective now than they've ever been. And you have guys, years ago, maybe 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, you would say, well, 6'2", the guy's too small. And nobody's saying that anymore. Now it's about length. I mean, you definitely want guys with length, because nobody's blocking shots with their forehead or getting deflections with their nose. It's more about the length and athleticism that you have. We're seeing more of that. But playing on the perimeter and being able to shoot it, like shooting's the premium. If you can shoot it, you're gonna have an impact there to stretch the defense.
And I think we can say Steph Curry probably a massive piece of this entire thing. He changed, or at least spotlighted, a part of the game that more people are trying to emulate, because a larger portion of society, like he said, 6'2", not that real life 6'2". You're looking down at a lot of humans. NBA though, you are neck broken looking up. We went to the Clippers Suns playoff game. You forget when you don't go to one of these games.
How big?
Fucking avatars, dude.
It's absurd.
It is so large, lumbering so far back and forth. Yeah. It's a phenomenal sports, phenomenal league. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Jay, speaking of Jokic, during this year, we saw a lot of the clips of him getting drafted in the second round during the Taco Bell commercial. What is it about, because I feel like the narrative is that outside of the lottery, it's kind of a crapshoot whether or not the guys are going to maybe blossom into stars or even be like a good role player on teams. How unique is it for a guy to get picked in the second round and kind of blossom into a star in the league? And is there any chance that's going to happen this year?
Oh, it does happen. There aren't that many two-time MVPs like Jokic that I think he went 41 in his draft year. And, you could argue, well, that was a miss. But, he certainly didn't look the part at the time, the dad bod God thing, but and very unorthodox, and still is. I mean, some of the shots he takes looks like, what is he doing? And they go in. Yeah. They all go. He's an extraordinary player. But there are always players that are taken in the second round that turn out to be way better than they were slotted. But the NBA draft is kind of an odd thing. Like you have, there's so many upside picks because so many of the top prospects are young and they're not fully developed yet. So you're trying to project where they're going to be. And oftentimes, like I would look back at a guy that, back in the day, like take Grant Hill for an example. If Grant Hill were coming out now, he'd probably come out after his freshman year, talent-wise. And we'd be saying he can't shoot. But his senior year in college, he became a good shooter and was one of the iconic players his first 7 years in the league. He put up numbers like only a handful of players in the history of the game did. He was a Sandy Koufax of basketball.
Hell yeah!
And so that's what you try to look at is where's the guy going to project? And look, a lot of teams missed on Jokic, and heck, Denver missed on him. If they knew he was that good, they would have taken him in the first round with their pick.
I think my favorite thing is not only does he get drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, clip hit the internet of him scoring his first points the other day.
Yep.
And the commentator goes, well, I guess everybody's scoring these days. Basically, like this guy, if he was a chip builder, which I don't think he is.
Yeah.
I think I work, I go, horse, I do. But if he was a chip builder, he'd be able to have stuff for 55 years with the way he came in the league. But then there's a lot of guys that people say this guy's going to stink, and they do stink.
Yep.
We just never really get to talk about it. Excited to hear and learn a new foreign name that comes out of the NBA draft earlier than anybody could have expected. And then they'll say, he's playing in 2 years, though. It's like, damn, we're wasting the 8th overall pick for 2 years on another deal. Yeah, he's coming from Spain through Belgium, and then he'll be here. It's like, I don't know if I'm a fan of that team, I'm fucking thrilled. I don't know about that whole move, but that is always something I feel like it comes out of the conversation of NBA draft night. Last question here from Pac-Man, Jay.
Hey, Jay, my question is, you got some of these guys that's going G League, some of them going to college. What is the greater part of going to the G League or going to college? Should kids go to the G League if they have a chance to go to the G League, or should they go play in college?
That's a really good question. And I don't think there's a right answer to it. It depends on the player and what the player wants. The G League is a really good option because it's all basketball and it's all NBA. You're playing against NBA players that might be on a two-way contract, or they were drafted and they're being put down in the G League to develop. So you're playing in NBA systems against NBA players. And so for a guy like Scoot Henderson, he's had 2 years of basically playing NBA basketball. So it's a great way to develop as a player. I still think there's a tremendous value in college for the emotional maturity. The education is certainly important, but also the brand development. Like, we know the college players. People are going, well, a lot of people I talk to, they don't know Scoot Henderson. They're not watching the G League. But they know Brandon Miller. They know some of these guys that have played in college, and they're familiar with them. So the overtime elite piece is more, kind of glorified high school basketball. So it's not as good a competition. But the fact that players have a number of outlets now, like, look, if you're a football prospect, you're going to college. There's no other choice. But basketball has some other choices that are really good. It's just non-traditional. So, old heads like me are it's different than I'm used to. But I wouldn't hesitate if college wasn't my bag. The G League is where I'd be.
Yeah, it feels like, in just everything you said, the G League, like Scoot, that's who's playing over there?
Yep.
2 years he's been playing against NBA people?
Yeah.
NBA basketball style, too?
Yeah.
I mean, that's if I'm picking that. No, obviously, give me the 7'4" guy.
Of course.
Who can fucking shoot really good.
Yes.
But if I can't, give me the guy who's been playing against adults. But then this goes into your point about projections, though. Like, if you know how everything goes, the NBA draft is a fascinating thing. You've been covering it for 21 years, also killing it on game day. Hey, love watching you on Saturdays during the college basketball season. You always look so damn cool, Jay. You always look so damn cool all the time.
I wish it were too. I wish I was as cool as you, brother. I'm a big admirer of yours. All you guys love your show.
Hey, I've heard some stories about you off, and I've heard you are electrifying, sir. So we are big fans of yours as well. And you crushed it here today. You gave us a lot of information. Yeah. We're going to act as if it's ours. 100%. You're the man. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, ESPN legend, Jay Bilas.
Yay!
Hey.
All right, so I've been saying this the whole time. Like, people don't know Scoot, but like 2 years in the G League, not a lot of people are watching, but he's been playing NBA basketball. Let's just pick up his takes as ours. A lot of information in there for us to digest. Let's do that while we take a break before AJ Hawk joins us. Shout out to that. I learned a lot there.
Yeah, we did.
Taking the pros, or not the pros, but like Wembanyama, he played in the pro league over there. Yeah. Luka was another guy. Luka won the championship.
Also the other Serbian.
Yeah.
The other one. Not Joker. No, sorry. Luka's who you're talking
about. Yeah, Luka. Yeah.
I think Joker too, didn't he?
Joker played professionally, in Serbia,
Yeah.
So like those guys do.
And I was seeing videos of flares going off in the fucking
Oh, yeah. The whole crowd jumping.
Turkey.
What they say? They say, I stink. Okay, guy threatened to kill me.
Yeah, they asked him about hostile crowds in the playoffs.
You ever been shot with a flare while shooting a free throw?
Played in Serbia, dude.
I don't think so.
There's a few other G League guys going top 10.
Oh, no. Good arms. This one's for AJ Hawk.
Well, you got a round in this morning, too.
Yeah, we golfed this morning, boys.
Here we go.
Got a round. Early wake-up call.
Oh.
I was going to say if I make that, AJ will be on.
Well,
but I didn't say it, so he can still come on.
Phew. But this one.
This one's for AJ Hawk to join us next.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
To be.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Because that one in, AJ Hawk's on the other side, as is Adam Schefter. What does he know? What does he know? Also, your phone calls on the 500 phone line, 1-833-432-3663, 1-833-4-DONO. Take 5.
Oh, look at this.
Okay, so here's the story. That was after a show before Hammer Dahn, because he had to go to another thing or whatever. So like all had to happen very quickly. Whenever we found out that Jack Carr was coming to the Thunderdome, I really wanted to make sure that we took advantage of everything that the Thunderdome has to offer and everything that Jack Carr has to offer. Artificial. He's the lead AI guy. Jack Carr is former sniper, you know? So if we didn't have him shoot somebody in the fucking head, would we have been doing it right? I don't think so. But in the modern world that we're in, it's tough to just have a guy shoot somebody in the head on a video and put it out in the middle of a sports program. So we had to build up a character that was hated enough by the entire world that they'd be okay with him getting shot right in the head in a matter of 3 minutes after being introduced to him. Boom! Could we find that guy? What?
I'm a method actor, so to be the most insufferable, hated human on the planet was pretty easy. However, the day was tough. I had to do terrible things. Titty twisters, I wrote boogers on the back of Bruce's shirt. I even pissed on Ty's shoes when he wasn't looking in the locker room. But I mean, it was all in the name of acting. Arthur Isaac Fischel, that's what he would do.
Once the creative wheels started rolling, it became pretty clear that Jim Kong was going to be a necessity.
How many people filmed it, though? I feel like you had so many nice cuts and everything.
Wow, Zito and Foxy and everybody back there heard me part of it. Bill.
Yeah. Pat asked, how many cameras do we have? So we grabbed them all. But the key was we couldn't show any cameras in any of the shots.
And we all know we only had one shot at this.
The most important part for me was nailing the accent of the character. So I've been working with a dialect coach for the last several months to really kind of try to pin it down.
I mean, you look like a fucking asshole. What are you talking about?
I think it came out great. I think I did a great job. It was well worth the investment.
Ever since I saw the Inglourious Basterds documentary, I was infatuated with the character of Antonio Margarete. And to have the opportunity to reprise his character in this was just an opportunity that I could not pass. It was an opportunity of a lifetime.
Felt a tremendous weight of responsibility in this role. As the waiter, I am literally setting the table for the entire scene.
Hey, Jack, I think you're tracking him.
Around? Okay.
Because I think that's part of the shot is you're tracking him.
Okay.
Did he bring that gun?
No, we had to get it.
Past 2 years of my life, I've spent a lot of that time actually reading and listening to Jack Carr's books. So whenever I found out that I was going to be sighting in a rifle for, essentially my life hero, it was a great honor.
Are you going to hit the first try? Let's not waste it.
I don't know. We'll see. This thing's not sighted in. That's my only concern.
Oh, God damn it.
but Bill and Tim had it, but they were saying he was shooting a little bent barrel maybe, you know what I mean? Who knows? And then he says, well, where is it? And he grabs it, and then he stands like 10 feet away from this cardboard box and like, all right. So whatever Bailey and Tim were telling me about, maybe there's a little bit or whatever, I'm like, the guy's a Navy SEAL fucking sniper.
Yeah, Bill was all excited, but Bill is like shooting white-tailed deer in Indiana, okay? Jack Carr, he's a fucking professional killer. I always had a pretty good belief that he was going to figure it out.
Yes, that'll work. Thank you. Scram.
Is this a background? Oh, that's a nuclear bomb.
AI gave to me a nuclear freaking bomb. Told me the only way to save this screwed up world is to blow it up.
Holy shit!
That whole thing was first take. That was one run, that entire thing.
Yeah.
One run, that's it. As soon as Connor gets there, that thing.
Headshot.
Dude, that is. His brain is actually going out the other side, right where he was wanting to hit him. I mean, like, basically called his shot. Think about Jack Carr getting pitched that.
How did he respond the first time you guys kind of talked about it and went through it?
Love it.
Nice. I love it.
Yep, no questions. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yes, love it.
That's awesome. I love it.
His new book, which is the 6th installment of the Terminalist series, Only the Dead, is currently available at all bookstores. You should buy it. In an abandoned warehouse, Arthur Isaac Fischel, the world's AI authority, has summoned the Earth's most influential doofuses for an emergency meeting about the terrifying powers of artificial intelligence. Antonio Margherita, influencer from Italy. Vladimir Borobashnakowski. Chad Speed. Jim. We catch up with them mid-dinner as Artie Fish tries his damnedest to get the influencer's attention.
Yes, that'll work. Thank you. Scram. Let's get down to brass tacks, boys. The real reason we're here. AI is it's a problem. It's gonna kill us all.
It's hard to take you serious with the way your face looks right now.
I mean, you look like a fucking asshole. What are you talking about?
Oh, the only thing artificial is those fucking balls you call balls.
You look absolutely absurd.
You guys don't understand. You're not listening to me, okay? I'm wearing this because AI can hear your thoughts. It can get into your brain, guys.
You ain't got no fucking brain.
Once again, struggling to take anything you say serious. My team told me I should come to this. You look like he looks like a joke.
Like an absolute jerk off.
Does this look like a joke? Huh? That's a nuclear bomb.
Nah, that's fake.
Just fucking like bad man puts marbles in plastic
You need a boom-ah, my friend.
You guys aren't listening. This right here, AI gave to me a nuclear freaking bomb. Told me the only way to save this screwed up world is to blow it up. This guy awake? Idiot.
Wake up, asswipe.
You wouldn't hit somebody with a
No, yeah, fuck.
No, don't you worry. This one is foolproof.
I doubt it.
I brought it here, boys. Not just for show.
What?
But because I'm gonna blow up the world right now!
Holy shit! That's Jack Carr!
Turns out, that was an actual nuclear bomb. Arthur Isaac Fischel was going to blow the entire world up, and Jack Carr saved us all. It was his actual first shot. And Artie Fish is actually dead. Forever. Thank the Lord that Jack Carr sensed trouble. His new book, which is the 6th installment of the Terminalist series, Only the Dead, is currently available at all bookstores. You should buy it. As you just watched, he saved the world. Hell yeah, Jack Carr. Hell yeah.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this new guest Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. Hour 2 of the sports program starts now. Sports are happening, you know? I just seen Ohtani hit a dong shot, and Ohtani strikes somebody out. So baseball is taking place, and we're certainly watching that whenever we happen upon a channel that has baseball on. Now, that's normally in between trying to stream something else, but every once in a while, we can get captivated by something special. And baseball has those moments. Happening in Omaha right now, it feels like is one of those moments. So we do have sports taking place, but we also have a lot of bullshit surrounding a lot of sports right meow. We'll be covering all that for the next couple hours while also chatting with Adam Schefter in 9 minutes.
Okay.
And Adrian Wojnarowski.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Woj.
In the third hour, obviously, that's Woj Baum and NBA Insider. We just had Jay Bilas on. ESPN's doing the NBA draft. And to be honest, we didn't even know the NBA draft was happening until yesterday when Shams told us that everything had to happen by Thursday. Follow-up question. So what's Thursday? And Shams, in his next answer, didn't want to disrespect our information or knowledge, but he said, the draft's on Thursday, so it's like, whoa, shit.
Wow.
That's right.
So now we just learned there is something to talk about, especially when there's a 7'4" guy who's potentially going to be the next face of the fucking NBA. Can't wait to talk to Woj. We appreciate him stopping by. We appreciate Jay Bilas. Can't wait to talk to Adam Schefter about his podcast making the rounds because Dalvin Cook said he wouldn't mind playing with D-Hop on the podcast. The boys are here at the Talks the Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Stefan Diggs is here, and 14-year NFL icon and rapper Adam Pac-Man Jones is here. Pac, you look good. You sound good.
Thank you,
your father-in-law is one of the coolest humans of all time.
Weapon.
This guy was dead for 2 weeks last year. Now he's back, cooler than fucking ever. Maybe the best voice I've ever heard in my entire life. Name Ulysses.
How about it?
Out of Memphis, Tennessee. His fucking name is Ulysses. This guy is awesome.
Pretty sweet.
So cool. Iced out. Got a full suit on.
Clean
That fit is unbelievable.
The hat. Look.
Fucking dog, dude.
Chains.
Just seen Ulysses. He said, man, you nonstop. And gave me a, I'm like, hell yeah, Ulysses. Hell yeah. We're going to hire him to do some voiceover work, I do believe.
Have to.
If you were to hear him speak, you'd say, that's out of a movie. I do believe Ulysses is a movie. And I'm excited that we met him. Pat, great to see you. Guy in Ohio right now in an attic. College football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, current champion of Ohio, the entire state. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall. AJ, Pac-Man's father-in-law's here. His name's Ulysses, and that's all you need to know. He's fucking awesome. Now, let's dive into some other stuff happening around the sports world, AJ, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. What's up?
It's the off season. There's really no sports on, so golf is kind of what people.
NBA draft is huge. Wemby, as you could say, went on with JJ. I know you guys already talked about that. The guy's going to be a superstar, no question.
Bro, we stink at talking about this, though. You know what I mean? We got to work on this. We got to actually act like we're paying attention to stuff so that when things happen later, we can actually make it appear as if we know somewhat of what we're talking about. For instance, the NBA regular season. Need to try to watch it. Okay? Need to try to mention it to every once in a while.
You know what the outcome is going to be when the regular season kicks up again.
AJ, you don't know me, okay? Every day is a day to change.
That's right.
Every day is a day you could get better. But what happens is when playoff basketball happens, we actually don't know anything about any of the teams. And everybody knows that we know nothing about the team because we announced publicly that we're refusing to watch games because of how boring they are. So we actually ruin our credibility later right now being too transparent. So what we need to not do, we're always going to be too transparent.
Of course.
If it's in here, it's coming here. Everybody knows that. That's what this program's always going to be. That's why people are like, hey, go to Centrum. It's like, good luck, bro. People have been trying to stop this to this for a long time in a lot of different situations. So we actually have to watch the games. That's what we have to do so that we can talk about
all of them.
In March.
All 82.
All right, we'll divvy them up.
Well, probably
Herbo
March.
does
25.
the first 50.
October to March 1st.
I think it's fun. Yeah, once football's over, like after March, April, What, playoffs start in June?
After March
So now college
Everybody
basketball.
get 5 teams. Everybody get 5 teams.
And you're right. And 5 teams. You're right. 5 teams. We'll cover it.
Everybody get 5
YouTube TV, I think, has the 4.
Yep.
The quad box.
Quad box.
We can do that, AJ.
We can do it, AJ.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can change
We're in.
today.
Here we go.
Let's do it. Cannot wait. I love basketball. I really do. I grew up playing basketball, AAU, everything. Sometimes it's tough to watch all the regular season games, but you know what? I'm gonna zero in on 1 or 2 teams. That's what I'm gonna do. It's overwhelming to think of the whole league and try. You can't consume all of that.
Okay, you got the Sacramento Kings and
And the Portland Trailblazers.
I'll take Steph. Give me the Warriors. I don't know what they're going to look like next year, and the Lakers.
Okay, I got the Nuggets. I got the Nuggets and the Suns. Okay,
I got the Hawks.
Okay.
I'll take the Hawks and
someone take the Bucks.
76ers.
Yeah,
I'll take Texas.
Who?
Texas.
Okay, Dallas
State.
and San Antonio
Okay.
Yep.
with Wemby. Okay, you're going to enjoy this.
Smart
Not
move.
forget Houston, okay?
Oh, shit, I forgot
Yeah.
about them. Remember when Harden was down there?
So sweet.
So sweet.
They got Udoka down there too, so the strip clubs will do better again.
Okay, other things as well, you know.
You know what? I will take the Kings.
All right.
I'll grab the Kings and I'll take the Bucks too.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, you're a gentleman.
It's a lot of basketball.
Thank you for doing that.
You bet.
And Connor, you got the Celtics?
I'll go Celtics Heat. You know what? I'll throw in the Sixers.
Take the Northeast.
There's some teams we missed for sure, but look at us. Now we're doing basketball. So next year, whenever the NBA is 2 weeks straight of news, at least people will take us somewhat seriously.
Exactly.
Because when I'm asking Jay Bilas these questions, as the words are coming out of my mouth, I'm like, is that even, I have no idea. I have no idea if that is even in the same thought. So I try to let them know as I'm asking the question, like, hey, I don't know shit about your sport. I watch it.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is just like when we get into MMA conversations. Like when Dana comes on here, every once in a while there'll be some UFC people that are pissed that I didn't ask about something. It's like, I apologize, I don't keep up with all storylines, but I watch.
Yeah.
You know, I'll watch, I'll dabble. I don't like following all the stories because I feel bad for the people that are getting their faces busted.
Sure.
But on the other side, I'm pumped for the winners.
Yeah.
Modern day gladiator, I love watching it. I'm just not in the weeds. So when Dana comes on, I always feel like I'm missing something. But then I feel like the conversation's a good one. Our NBA conversations have been very fucking good.
Yeah. We enjoy them.
Windy.
Oh, awesome.
You remember what he said about you, AJ? He came in and just was like, where do I go to let this guy know?
Yep.
What was that, AJ? What was that little?
Yeah, it's funny. He's great. And now we have Woj today, right?
Yeah, we got Wojnarowski. You knew that was his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it again? What's the last name?
You tell me.
You tell me. Your name is the show.
Oh, yeah. That is something.
What is it?
I believe, and I don't want to be misquoted here, and I certainly don't want the Polish not to like me.
Sure.
Yeah. Great
You know
people.
what I mean? Oh, my God. Pierogies? Are you fucking kidding me?
Baby.
Polish Day is
Dude,
awesome.
we had Rosie's Pierogies right down the street from where I was.
Yep.
Delightful
Great
summer.
That's
Pierogies.
Pittsburgh. It's a Pittsburgh staple, isn't it? Or a Pennsylvania staple.
Yeah, the Polish had
Kolaschkis.
So you got the Irish, obviously. You got the Italian.
Hell
The
yeah.
Polish had a pretty good little presence in the city
Yeah,
of
they
Pittsburgh.
did some stuff, yeah.
Bro, the Polish got buried publicly by everybody.
Yeah,
It
for
was-
a long
They
time.
did.
It was
They weren't out
crazy.
thinking anybody.
well. That's what everybody said, and I don't need this program to continue to be that type of projection of the Polish people, but they would openly on the radio say like, "Hey, for you Polish people, like Heinz Field's the one that's down there."
If you're looking.
They would actually say, "I'm like, damn."
Really?
And I didn't know any. I don't think I knew any Polish people. I don't think I was.
People
around.
are okay with that?
That's what I'm saying. And the only thing I knew was like, damn, Polish people get buried all the time. That's literally what I said. And then you start thinking about the people that we know. You know, Polish are a fucking great group.
Yeah.
Whoever Wojnarowski, who is not
Nope.
No.
Wojnarowski.
Correct.
That's playing defense, slap the floor. That's Wojciechowski.
Well, and also
Yeah, Gene Wojciechowski.
from
who's
Game Day.
Yeah.
Different.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Anyways, I thought they were all related. That's 100% on me. And I think
In
the
some
Polish
way.
people are probably going to be mad about that.
Well, in some way, they're all related, you know. And for the people in Pittsburgh that were saying that they're stupid, I know a stupid Polish person, so it's not as if that they're completely off base.
How it works.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them saying that.
You don't deserve that. We'll talk to Woj about that and what you just said. AJ, real quick, we need to take a moment to do this because we haven't yet today. Your hair looks phenomenal, dude.
Hey,
You
thanks.
should be really proud of yourself.
You did a great job.
Yes.
We finally made it all the way to final form of the mullet. It's great to be here.
I mean, when you talk about patience and discipline and buy-in,
Yeah, have to.
and just some nights where you're completely fed up with the hair, how it looked, you had to go through phases where, we know,
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't need to be said.
No,
it's just a part of growing the hair out.
But you go ahead. You can go ahead and say it.
I'm not going to say it.
No, you should. It's awesome now to hear it.
You go
being
through
past
hat
that.
phases.
Yes.
Where phases where you have to wear a hat.
Yeah, where he looked like shit. You can say it. I'll tell you
Yes,
something.
exactly.
You went through a shit phase.
You get it.
Boom, long hair.
Yeah.
There is phases where
For sure.
it doesn't look good. And when you're on camera every day, there's a lot of opportunity potentially to say, like, I'm sick of seeing my fucking hair look the way it looks.
Fuck it.
And you stuck with it. And look
right.
where you're at right now, dude.
Here's where-
That Kentucky waterfall looks better than I think any of us could have fathomed.
We need side profile. We need side profile.
I've honestly never had hair this nice or this long.
Look at the curls,
awesome.
dude. Wow. Little bounce to the eyes.
Little bounce. Get some products, perhaps, going forward.
It's a big day. Happy birthday to that thing that's on your head right now.
Thank you very much.
Your helmet was born on Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. Happy fucking birthday.
It's a great day, too, because June 21st, summer solstice, longest day of the year. Sun's up the longest.
Oh, my
today.
God. Let's celebrate it.
How about it, huh? Play 18 holes at 7 o'clock tonight if I want to.
That's the back porch barbers. JC is what we call him. His brand is back porch barber. He's a weapon. He did a great job.
He did.
Speaking of a weapon, he does a great job joining us now for the first time ever.
Okay.
He's a man that we certainly had to figure out how his name was pronounced, and I'm not sure that I know the right answer to that at this point. Oh, shit, never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, insider for the NFL. The insider for the NFL.
Yeah.
Absolute dog. Sorry about it. Thought it was another insider from ESPN because we're in our basketball conversation and Polish conversation. This man is not Polish, but he does have people in every single NFL building. He's also the host of a podcast named after himself that could be the biggest podcast whenever he wanted it to be the biggest podcast, because he could break any of the news that he wanted on that podcast and we would all talk about it. The most recent one, Dalvin Cook on his podcast saying he would love to play with DeAndre Hopkins. Sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, senior NFL insider at ESPN, Adam Schefter.
Hello, man. Well, Pat, this is my first appearance since you and the guys have been welcomed to ESPN, so congratulations to everybody there officially. Welcome to the team. It's a great place to be. Have loved working there, and we're very honored and happy to have you aboard. And I also know that I'm just the warm-up act today for Woj. Let's be honest. Right? Woj coming on. He's the headliner here, and I am happy to be the opening act for him any day of the week.
Listen, got to set the tone. Obviously, those people have very important jobs. To be clear, I did think that he was coming on right now in my head, just strictly because we're talking Poland, pierogi. Remember, we talked about pierogies.
Basketball.
And the NBA draft is happening tomorrow, so that's 100% on me. But we are very thankful that you're back, and thank you for the welcome there. That was very kind of you. You're one of the weapons that we're excited to get to know a little bit more with our addition and entrance to ESPN. Lucky to be there, thankful to be there. Thank you for joining us. Let's dive in now. Your podcast could just be the biggest podcast of all time if you wanted it to be, couldn't it? Because you could have any information you wanted, and you could record a 5-minute voice memo, and you could upload that as the Adam Schefter podcast, and then you could just put that out, and then all of a sudden everything would have to credit the Adam Schefter podcast, and you'd be able to do whatever. You could do that. I assume you'd rather just build your Twitter account to be a fucking animal, but in your podcast, Dalvin Cook said he wanted to be teammates with DeAndre Hopkins. Is there any other stuff to that? Any teams that would think about that? And how would that work, you think, Schefty?
Well, first of all, I got to talk to you about then growing my podcast here and seeing how I should maximize the growth of that kind of thing, because I haven't done as good a job with that as I could. So I'd like to talk to you offline about that some other time.
I just said all my thoughts. I just said all my thoughts right there. I think that's good, though, because with the voice memo app, with the way technology is these days, with how you could upload, if you could just get somebody to send you a voice memo, too, and then you talk to the person, boom, that's an easy. With your connections, boom, that seems like a pretty simple thing to do. And I only realized that because literally, it was like from the Adam Schefter podcast, Dalvin Cook says this. I'm like, man, that podcast could have every fucking tweet.
Well, you know that's very interesting. We got a few things that are percolating here. Like you always think some things in the hopper, right? And so no different now, and we'll put that into the processor. And
hey, Schefty, 10% now. You know how this works. That's business. We do that whole thing. But
hey, you know what? I'll bring you on as a partner. You got a lot going on already, but I'm happy to bring you in as part of this. And if there's something for me, there's something for you. So let's go.
I like the way you do business. It sounds fantastic. But let's dive into it. Your podcast, Dalvin Cook, saying that he wouldn't mind being teammates with you.
Yeah.
So
back to that. Let's get back to that.
Yeah, we got that business done. Let's talk about this business. That would be big business. And is anybody thinking about that?
Well, I said to him at one point during the podcast, I'm like, have you spoken or reached out to DeAndre, had any communication with him at all during this? And he hadn't. He's like, I don't have his number. I'm like, I'll send you his number, reach out to him, and that would be interesting. He's like, I'd love to play with him. It would be epic. Now, do I think that that's going to happen ultimately? Probably not, but it's not out of the question. It's just a question of whether a team would be willing to play both, whether each guy might be willing to take a little bit less to be together. Again, not a likely scenario, but not out of the question. They're both free agents. You don't find players of their caliber on the street in late June at the same time together. And it looks like neither one's in any great rush. It could happen at any time. But, teams will get ready for training camp, and it seems like things will pick up closer to them for them. But if they want to go and make it a package deal, they could certainly do that. They could talk about that. And it would be two great guys to have in your team right now.
How do you see that going for both of them? Do you think they are going to, because you said they would have to take less money. Obviously, they would if they're going to the same team. Would it be a one-year type deal that we're kind of seeing out of some other players? Got to prove it type deal? That's why they would take the pay cut, and they would prove it and win and then potentially get another big deal somewhere else. How would that work? And have you heard from teams on whether or not they're going to pay D-Hop or pay Dalvin Cook, who we both believe
dogs
still up here in the whole thing, but it is June. It is a weird time.
Well, I think the idea of them playing together is probably more fantasy football than anything else. But like I said, not out of the question. And so DeAndre visited Tennessee and New England. Could I see Tennessee be interested in Dalvin? No. Could I see New England make a call? Yeah, I could see that. Ooh. Now, could they both wind up in New England? Whoa. Again, it just seems a little bit of a stretch, but why not, right? Like, I don't think it's a likely scenario. Like I said, that would be a team that would come to mind. I proposed on my podcast that the New York Jets should take a run at Dalvin Cook. Like, that makes sense to me. If you look at the Jets' schedule early in the year, it's a gauntlet. Look at their first 6-7 games. They play the Bills. They play the Cowboys. They play the Chiefs. They play the Eagles. Like, they are really up against it early. And we don't know how soon and how effective Breece Hall is going to be coming back from the ACL that he suffered in Week 7 last year. So if Breece Hall is not 100% and you could complement him with a guy like Dalvin Cook, great. Now maybe you do a deal with Dalvin and then you say, hey, DeAndre, we'd love to have you here too in New York. I know we haven't visited yet, but why don't you come to New York? He's in New York right now. He's posting videos. Like, it's not hard to get him out to New York and go visit with the Jets. So again, probably more fantasy football than anything else, but on June 21st, it's a fun topic to talk about.
It certainly is. It certainly is, and we appreciate your passion and your selling there because as a New York Jet, I'm thinking like Breece Hall. We forget Breece Hall. Breece Hall was so good.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Immediately in the NFL, he gets in every single week, we see this motherfucker running away from people. Mm-hmm. We see him pulling away from people that are smaller than him. Every single week.
Let me tell you something. You think about it, he would have won.
Yeah.
He would have won the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And instead, Garrett Wilson wins the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Sauce Gardner wins the Defensive Rookie of the Year. So they got some young talent there. And Dalvin there in New York, to me, would make a lot of sense. I don't know how interested the Jets are or aren't. I would think that it'd be logical that everybody wants to go play with Aaron there. So we'll see if the two sides can somehow get together at some point in time. And in my opinion, make a match that would make some sense for both sides.
God, could you imagine this Jets team going on a run? Hall could have happened in Green Bay. Go ahead, AJ.
No. Shefty, do we know if there are still players like under investigation with this whole gambling situation? I know the NFL put out their 6 bullet points or whatever on what you should do. And also, are any other professional sports worried that this is going to bleed into their sport? Are they investigating their players, say, in baseball, basketball, everything else?
Well, I asked that very question to the NFL yesterday. They had a conference call to kind of go over all these rules and tell everybody all the things that players can't be doing. And, you're not allowed to bet on football. You're not allowed to do it from your team's facility. You're not allowed to bet on your own games. The one guy right now that's going to be in trouble is the Colts cornerback, Isaiah Rodgers. Oh, no. I asked the league specifically that question, AJ. I said, do we have an update on how close Isaiah Rodgers is to being disciplined? And are there other players under investigation? League decline comment. So I just think that they're trying to send a message and make it very well known with all players. Like, they've already visited 12 teams in recent weeks to give them the point-by-point bulletin, a 30-minute slideshow about the things that players can and can't do. They're scheduled to visit 6 more. So that means
Those
they'll have
always
visited
work.
18 of the 32 teams. They're trying to get in front of them, trying to get in person. It's not hard. We could save them the work right now. Can't bet on football games. Can't do it in your facility. Can't do it on the road trips. Can't do it in your team's plane on the bus to the state. Can't do it.
Yeah, and the way you're delivering that is exactly how it sounds whenever the NFL has to go around and tell people about something that's very important that somebody else in the league certainly fucked up. The NFL has a lot of those moments. It's like, hey, everybody, 4-hour conference right now.
Right now.
Can't be doing this. And then it goes in. I don't want to talk for everybody.
But Pat, owners are allowed to make deals with gambling companies.
Of course.
And they are allowed to open sports books in their stadiums. So it's good for the owners.
Of course.
But everybody else got to be a little careful.
Yeah, and we agree, though. Like, we think the integrity of the sport has to remain. And if it does and can't, even though everybody's talking about, like, the scripting conversation on the internet was loud last year. Loud. This is scripted, this is scripted, this is scripted. And as the sports gambling world continue to go that gets louder. Feels like those two are on the same path. People lose something, and they see some fuckery, and they think to themselves, yeah, you got to be working against me. Got to be working against me. You know, so if they lose the integrity, like hearing that Isaiah Rodgers was betting on NFL games, like they should tell us if it was on the Colts or not. Like that is a piece of information I think the public should hear. You know, because if he was betting, let's say, against the Colts, and even if it wasn't on the Vikings game, largest comeback in NFL history happens after a 33-0 thing. People start piecing that together. The league's going to take a fucking hit for that. Like, people aren't going to necessarily trust what they're watching. And that's the only thing I think that can slow down this money train that the NFL currently is. So I agree with it. And I try to tell them, like, I don't know how many dudes watch our show. I'm sure they see clips. Whatever. You get it. Like, just when you retire, sports gambling is going to be so much better.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much better. The tech's going to be figured out. You know, you're going to know more. The money's going to be made. There's going to be more states. More regulations have been figured out. You guys are going to fucking crush it. Just do it when you're retired because everything else, because whenever you talk about the hypocrisy of, obviously the NFL can make money off it. That's happened with alcohol and scratch-offs and everything like that for a long time. But it's like, hey, just wait, boys. You can't do it, boys. But some people aren't going to listen, Schefty, and that has to be a real fear.
The league has always harped on the integrity. It's always been one of the biggest points. Like, you remember when Tony Romo was going to do a fantasy football convention in Las Vegas, and the league stepped in and blocked it. Like, it was crazy that they were so opposed to anything that was even around gambling, around Las Vegas. And now we have a franchise in Las Vegas. We have a Super Bowl in Las Vegas. We've got sports books. It's a different day and age. But to go along with that, to try to protect the integrity of the game, the league is making it a point to anybody that finds with records of that, hey, you're going to pay the price if we find that you violated the rules. And I think they're connected to these gambling sites and the fantasy sites so that if a player opens an account or is betting, they're triggered right away, and that player's in trouble almost immediately.
Yeah, that's why when we heard, thousands of bets? Hundreds of bets. Hundreds of bets. It's like, man, so they just said, when they find out, like at his 5th bet, and they're like, let him keep fucking going.
Let's see if he wins.
Let's just make the case. Let's make the case.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm very glad that I don't work for the NFL anymore because I love playing fantasy football way too much.
Are you good? I bet you're good, huh? I bet you because you got that inside information.
You know what? I've never won in our league. We've got an ESPN War Room League, 16 teams. I've never won it. But we have a basketball league, and I've won the basketball league 3 of the last 4 years. Explain that.
Whoa. Really? Huh? You know?
I love fantasy bet. Love. Yeah.
Like daily or season long? What is it?
Season long. Like live and die with it. Love that.
Oh, Schefty, how do you have fucking?
And I love and you know what, fantasy
football. How do you have time,
Schefter?
You got a podcast. You got all the amount of humans you have to talk, and then you keep a daily journal, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we learn? You keep like a daily journal. How do you have all?
Yeah, I do.
How do you have all the time? You got to be like a robot. How do you do it?
I have every day of my life documented since 1990, every single day. Like disappearance will make the journal, but you know, look, I don't have a baby at home like you to take care of.
Oh.
I got a 14-year-old girl. It's my son's birthday today too, 23. So I got grown kids, so I can now play fantasy football. My wife loves that I go from phone calls to playing fans. She has no issue with it whatsoever. It's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, love. That's real. That's genuine. I'm happy to hear that, though, Shefty. The guy does have good times. You hear this?
Yeah,
he's not just work.
No.
He's not just work. No, he's fantasy,
No.
basketball.
Pat,
Guy's a fucking ringer.
I'm work. I'm fantasy football, fantasy basketball, work, fantasy golf, fantasy basketball, work, fantasy golf. Yep.
Oh, and you got a nap in there somewhere, I would assume. But geez, keep going, Shefty. Pac-Man has a question for you.
What up, Shefty? San Fran.
What's up, Pac?
What's up, man? San Fran, they still got the three-head monsters with the quarterbacks. They say Purdy is ready to go. Do you think the younger boy will get traded before camp, or do you think they're going to stick with all three of them?
No, here's the thing. There really was never a lot of interest in Trey Lance for what they gave up and what they get back, which is not very much at all. It doesn't make sense to trade him. There was no trade market, and Kyle Shanahan has said that they didn't have any trade talks with teams. He's not going there. He's not going anywhere right now. He's there. Now, I will say this. Sam Darnold signed with the 49ers on the first day of free agency. And if there's a player signing with the team on the first day, that tells you that the team really liked that guy. And they really did like Sam Darnold. He was looking at a couple of different options. He chose the 49ers. But let's also be very clear that Brock Purdy, if he's healthy, he's the guy on opening day. He's the starting quarterback. He's the number one. If he's not, if for some reason he can't go, we'll see how Darnold and Trey Lance do in camp this summer. My guess would be Darnold has a chance to really shine and excel, but there's a lot of preseason football left for those two guys to distinguish themselves.
So Trey Lance never get on the field. We never get to see what he can do, really, because he only played, 3 or 4 games?
In San Francisco, I would say this. I would think that, look, Brock Purdy is the one, if healthy. And I think going into camp, Sam Darnold, I think, has the edge going into camp. But by the way, Trey Lance could play great. He worked over the summer with Mahomes, and I heard he's made tremendous improvement. I'm anxious to see how much he's improved and whether he can make that jump. Let's see it.
Yeah, we all are. I think, the Trey Lance story is so fascinating, and obviously you're on top of all of it that draft day, like we potentially were as well for that one time in the history of our entire show's existence. Them trading up, moving the future, trading up to 3, and then allegedly there being a little bit of a conflict between who wanted what and who wanted what.
I don't think that's right. I'm just telling you, they traded up. They traded up with the idea that they loved Mac Jones. Okay, that when they made that trade, they traded up with the idea that they were going to draft, with the idea that they're going to draft Mac Jones, while also having, I think it was 6 weeks to the draft, maybe a little less, a month or so, to look at the other prospects. And while they looked at the other prospects, they fell in love with the intangibles that Trey Lance demonstrated. He did testing and tested off the charts in terms of intelligence. They brought him in the building. The guy was ultra impressive. And even though they traded up with the idea of picking Mac Jones, while doing their work, they became enamored with this guy and the upside that he had. And I think they felt like if they take Mac Jones, then their offense, which many teams run versions of and they copy what they do, will continue to be duplicated, but it would be harder to duplicate what they do with a guy like Trey Lance, who freelances and plays spontaneous football the way he does. And so in the end, they went for the guy with the bigger upside, a guy that had great intangibles, and they went for Trey Lance. But I'm telling you, when they made the deal, the motivation initially was Mac Jones.
Yeah, in their eyes, the bigger upside, which is fascinating. And I guess you could see how the narrative that they were split on that decision could come because somebody who might not have chatted with one side for like a couple months, heard this person wanted Mac Jones. Like everybody's saying Shanahan wanted Mac Jones and Lynch wanted Trey Lance.
Yes.
And Lynch.
But let me say this. They could be split. They could have all these people. They could have all the people they want with all the opinions. In the end, Kyle Shanahan is the head coach. Kyle Shanahan, whoever he wants, I don't care what the voices say. If there are so many voices that present Trey Lance and they're so persuasive and he listens, then yes, that's what they'll do. But ultimately, every organization's got a lot of voices, but one guy in the end that makes the decision, right?
So who's the you're saying Shanahan's a decision maker?
Kyle's the decision maker there, yes.
Oh,
Him and John together. John is there to support Kyle and to do basically the way they want to run it.
Okay, so let's go on that note. So now Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, they end up being enamored by Trey Lance. So now, do you think they have enough pride, I guess they would have to at this stage, to be able to say, you know what, we don't have to get a look at this guy that caused quite a stir, quite a conversation, the way we traded, the move that was made. We were initially on this guy. We traded the future of the organization on this guy, and then we fell in love with this guy more doing this whole thing. Don't you think at some point they're going to want to look at that? Like get an actual, were we right? Like, I think for Madden games, players don't have like emotions or egos or pride or any of those things. No. They're waking up 94 every single day.
That's it.
Coaches, same thing. They're waking up, whatever you want to call them. It's like humans, though, when they get involved, there's legacy, there's pride, there's ego. There's a lot of potential, worry that you're going to be viewed as a failure, especially when you trade a couple of the future first-round picks on it all. They can move past not really getting an actual look at Trey Lance, or do they view that they've already kind of gotten a good, thorough look at what Trey Lance is, and they just have decided?
They have gotten a good look at Trey Lance. They've seen him every day during OTAs, during training camp, during preseason games, during 2 regular season games. They've seen it. Now, what they've seen so far may be different than what they see in the future. Players evolve. I'll go back to when Mike Shanahan was the head coach and Kyle was the ball boy, and I'm covering that team. And the Broncos drafted in the first round during their first Super Bowl year a guy by the name of Trevor Pryce, who in his first year as a first-round draft pick was no good. He was terrible. They were ready to cut him after 1 year. And then the guy became one of the best defensive linemen in the game. Players grow and evolve over time. And just because they don't pan out early in their career doesn't mean that they're not going to pan out later. Different players have different growth cycles, especially a guy like Trey Lance, who played so little college football, who sat out during the COVID years. His growth cycle is different than maybe any player we've had because of the lack of experience. So I think they're waiting at a certain point, and maybe it was this offseason when he spent time around Mahomes, that they see this growth in him. But up to date, he hasn't been as ready as people would like, right? Up to date. That doesn't mean he won't be this. We don't know. That's why I said and I'm sure they are excited to see what he can do, because he does have talent and he does have upside. But again, he's learning, growing, and evolving, and continues to do so.
That's interesting. That's fascinating. You said a lot right there.
Yeah.
It's almost like Shanahan cares. Yeah. Not like, hey, ready to move on from Trey Lance. It's like, when we put him out there, I want him to look good. Yeah. We made a pretty big decision here. Would like him to look good whenever we put him out there.
But you know what? Here's the thing. They did make a big decision, but they also hit on Brock Purdy.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, but Schefter, you and I both know GMs aren't like that. GMs don't view it that way. There's GMs that don't care that they drafted a guy in 5th round. It's like, well, if I
but they traded all those picks. They traded all those picks to solidify the quarterback position, and it looks like, in a roundabout way, they have.
Bingo.
So again, let's see if Trey Lance turns into the quarterback that they envisioned, which he's been okay so far, but there's more there, and it's up to them to harness that and him to grow it. And let's see. And in the interim, they hit on a guy that has been better than they ever expected.
Let's go.
Better than anybody could have expected. Absolute dog. Go ahead, AJ.
Shefty, do you have any idea what kind of the level of activity and throwing that Brock Purdy will have throughout training camp? Is he going to get much time in these preseason games? I know he's already throwing, but we don't know exactly the velocity or what he can do.
It's all been charted and planned. They have a whole game plan for him, and I don't know the specific game plan for the summer, whether – I'm sure he won't be throwing every day. Whatever the doctors have prescribed to them in terms of what is necessary for that recovery. But, they're optimistic, but don't know that he'll be ready for opening day. But there's still a whole way to go. There's a whole plan that's in place. You know how these coaches plan out all their practices for all the training camp? Well, there's a Brock Purdy plan too, probably, right? You just lay it out. I don't know the specifics of it, but everything that he does is going to be closely monitored all summer long.
That's awesome to hear, and that's very, operandus modus operandi. That's modus operandi.
Yep.
That is standard operating procedure for pretty much everything. Physical therapists put together a plan. You're throwing 7 balls here. Yep. You're doing this here. You're doing this here. Has he checked all the boxes? We assume he has. They said everything's going
so far.
Okay, good.
So far.
Hey, that's pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Purdy.
That's pretty good. Connor has a question for you with a new mullet.
Schefty, what's going on up in Buffalo? Obviously, the Stefan Diggs kind of kicked off this whole entire, you could say, drama up there. What's the reason for all that? Him being in the building, him not being at camp, him being away from the building, then he's back at camp. And then with Leslie Frazier, what's going on? There's rumors that, and maybe they've been confirmed, maybe they haven't, that he didn't just step away. He was almost let go, and that he won't be returning to Buffalo. And then lastly, this was kind of recent news. They got 60,000 seats in their new stadium, but they have 63,000 season ticket holders. How the hell is that going to work?
That's a Patriots fan. That's a Patriots fan.
Just curious. All questions.
Yeah.
There's a lot there, Connor. We'll start with Diggs, and I'll just say that I think that his unhappiness goes back weeks, if not months. And wide receivers are interesting. I don't know that he was getting the ball quite as much as he wanted last year, even though he was getting it. Like, if you look back over the 3 years, he's the third most targeted wide receiver in football. But I think it was when he was getting it, how often he was getting it, when games were on the line. I don't know that he felt like he was being counted on to his level of productivity. And so there's been things with him that have dated back for a while. Now, it certainly seems like they got in a room, they all talked about it. They made their attempts to appease him, and all sides put their issues on the table, and we'll see how it goes. I think for now, everything is good, but let's see what happens if they lose a game and he doesn't get the ball, and let's see if it lasts. Leslie Frazier, I don't know specifically. I have not heard that. I'll just say Leslie Frazier is one of the finest men that I've ever met in the National Football League. He is an unbelievable guy. It's hard to imagine that somebody like him and Sean McDermott couldn't get along and figure something out. But I don't know the specifics of that. And those seating issues, those are the issues you want. Like, when they open that new stadium, there'll be 863,000 people in upstate New York that want to go to those games. Like, everybody is going to want to go to the games. And if they have 63,000 season ticket holders for 60,000 slots, well, all that's going to do is elevate the demand, and everybody's going to want to go to that new stadium to go see that team anyway.
Yeah.
Not going to be. Those are good problems to have for that team.
Hell yeah. And their team has good culture, good vibe, too. So to what you said about McDermott and Leslie Frazier, they had to find a way to get along. Everything we've heard out of that building is, good. That's why the Stefan Diggs stuff is crazy. Because Poyer, Micah, Dawson Knox, Gabe Davis, Von Miller, Josh Allen, Cole Beasley. After his second album, before his third.
Mitch Morse.
Mitch Morse been on the program. Anybody else? Naeem Hines has been on the program.
Was Trey White? He popped in one time, Tre'Davious White.
Everybody we've talked to up there loves fucking being in Buffalo. They love being a Bill. So that's why the Stefan Diggs stuff kind of came out of nowhere for all of us, I think. I mean, it was because we've seen him in Paris Fashion Week. And then he's pissed.
He's dancing in that crowd, which looks sweet.
Listen, he's a great guy. I love Diggs. Wide receivers are different sometimes, and in this particular case, maybe that's what this is about.
They prima donnas. I already told the boys, these wide receivers are prima donnas, man.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
said it back.
there has been some situations that have certainly said that, but then you got Megatron.
Boom.
Right.
You know,
They all still prima donnas in some kind of way, bro.
Randy Moss, obviously.
Come on.
They all prima donnas in some kind of way.
Yeah, but Randy Moss got
All
on
of
your
the good
head.
receivers. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he didn't.
not.
He did
I don't know if he went on your. He went on my. He would go. Everybody.
Yes.
He's great. I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting into it. But in my eyes,
And some wide receivers are so freaking good at tailgating.
There's nobody that's more fun to mess with at ESPN than Randy Moss. I love stealing that guy's shoes when he's not looking, hiding them from him, make sure he can't find them. It's great. That's it.
You're sneaking under the thing, grabbing the shoes and get them out of there?
Oh yeah. I've done it
you crawling down there?
times.
What do you?
I've done it to a few. Anything you do to mess with Moss is always fun.
He's like greatest athlete of all time.
He is unbelievable. Oh yeah.
West Virginia.
He was a punt returner.
Yeah.
There was a punt returning award named after him. That's how fucking good of a punt returner he was. Imagine that guy sitting back there catching punts.
No thanks.
No way.
The highlights of him and Jason Williams in high school playing basketball.
Oh my
Kidding
God.
me?
And then the stories about him showing up in jeans and saying who's the fastest on his fucking field. And then just smoking him. What a dog, dude.
Yeah.
And
He's an interesting guy. I love him. He's an interesting guy.
Well, you're taking his shoes. You're taking his shoes and hiding these things. I mean, your Monday Night Countdown crew is fantastic. I believe we just lost some lights in here. And we're back. Wow. That was Ulysses.
Yep.
Ulysses walked around. He was too electrifying, sent shocks through the entire Thunderdome. Ty has a question for you, Schefty.
Schefty, what's going on with Tyreek Hill? We saw the report that he allegedly assaulted someone down at some marina in Miami. Do you know what's going on there, and how serious of a situation is this?
Well, did you see Drew Rosenhaus swimming with the sharks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how did that, what was that, you think? You think that shark was in trouble and Drew's like, I got it, give me the fucking thing, and hops out there? What do you think that was?
There has to be some correlation between that, right, Pat? Like, Tyreek was protecting. I don't know what the deal is, other than he's under investigation for an alleged assault.
This is not that.
There. Drew Rosenhaus went fishing with Tyreek Hill. Now, I was wondering, they put up the tweet, they put up the videos of Drew swimming with the sharks, and then the news comes out that Tyreek is involved in an incident that's under investigation by the Miami police. I don't know if it was the same day, if it's related. I don't know what the deal is there. But look, the NFL will wait for the legal process to play itself out. We'll see what the police do or don't come up with. If there's something there, then the league will have to step in. And if there's not, we'll see what they come up with down in Miami. But the police are looking into it. Not the kind of headline that you want this time of the year. Those are the things you want to avoid.
I'm excited to hear Drew's side of it all. Because he's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Drew.
Well, Drew will tell you about how he wrestled with the shark, and
greatest day of my life.
Yeah.
How great it was, how awesome it was. I felt like such I went out there. And then immediately upon getting back on land, I mean, just
Tyreek was still fired
and now
up.
we got a bop on the back of the head. Is that what you read?
That is what the report said. Is that it was like a marina hand or something like that, and he came up and bopped him right on the back of the head. The guy's not pressing charges at this time, but
okay. Well, I'm happy to hear that there's no charges being pressed, obviously, for any NFL player. But sometimes you give a little bop. That can be a little startling if people aren't ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Moss has done that to me when I've taken his shoes. I'm not pressing charges.
Oh, you're going bopped by Moss there, sneaking around there and stealing his shoes. Last question here, a little bit of a hypothetical. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Shefty, it is June, so the middle of June, and the news is a little bit slow. So let's play hypothetical. In Arizona, Kyler's not going to play for a good bit because of his injury. There is a new GM. There is a new head coach. They didn't draft him. They didn't pay him. Is there a chance, now they're projected potentially to be the number one overall pick last year, is there a chance that Kyler could potentially ever be traded and that Drake May or Caleb Williams would be their number one overall pick next year?
Definitely. I think that's all part of the conversation. They're not the ones that backed Kyler. We've seen that GMs and coaches like their own people. They're saying and doing right now all the right things to support Kyler. When they put up the statue or retired his number, whatever they did at Oklahoma, they all went, which was great to see. Like, they're standing behind him. They're supporting him. But let's be honest, they are loaded in the draft next year. They've got their own one, which potentially is going to be a high pick. They've got the Texans one, which could potentially be a high pick. There's some scenarios where they could be picking 1 and 2. So if there is a generational quarterback on the board like Caleb Williams, of course, that's going to be a storyline that follows them all year long. And we're waiting to see if and when Kyler can come back. But yeah, it's a new regime, loaded with picks. So, yes, there are questions about his future there, which is why it was important for him to get paid. And it was a good thing that he got paid last year. And we'll see where that all goes now.
Last question, actually, and I think it's new regime. Saquon, Giants are back talking. Well, how do we feel about that before the deadline?
They've been communicating all along. They just have not made very much progress. And look.
What do you mean? Like, hey, how you doing? Still. All right. See you tomorrow.
Hey, we need more money. We're not going to give you here's their issue, right? Like, Daniel Jones gets, $40 million a year on average. Dexter Lawrence gets close to $20 million a year, maybe more. I forget the exact number. And I think everybody could agree that Saquon is probably the most valuable player on that team. So you're telling me that he's going to be paid a third of what Daniel Jones makes, half of what Dexter Lawrence makes? It's crazy that he's that good, but that's the debate that both sides have to figure out by the July 17th deadline to sign a long-term deal, because you've got their best player, but you've got him playing a position that just isn't paid the way that other positions are. So he's arguing, I'm valuable to your team. They're saying you play running back. That's not a highly paid position. And we'll leave it to them to try to figure out and split the differences of the things that they've been unable to agree upon throughout the course of this offseason. Where it gets interesting is if they don't have a deal after that deadline on July 17th, what does he then do? What does Josh Jacobs do? What do they do without long-term contracts? Because those guys have to get paid. They're incredibly important to their teams.
Yeah, and you never know what next season is going to bring or how the team's going to be. Your stock can go down, especially at a position that stock is already down. So good luck to all parties. I hope that everybody gets a deal done worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
Joining us for the first time it's been a bit.
It has. Almost like the watch along.
Since the watch along.
It was fantastic. We appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you for joining us.
Well,
today.
I'm happy to be the opening act for Woj anytime.
Well,
enjoy him. I mean, he's going to have real news today. He's going to have real news. He's got real stuff going on. Real stuff. As opposed to June 21st in the football world.
No, Dalvin Cook said he thinks about potentially playing with DeAndre Hopkins. That's real news. Real news. We appreciate the hell out of you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Schefter. Dude, whenever, yesterday introduced Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman's face pops up.
That was nuts.
That was wild.
Yeah, still can't really believe that happened.
That was pretty cool. Shout out. Same Zoom link.
Yeah.
Same Zoom link that was supposed to be for Seth. So, I guess Zito found out just moments before we go live as well. Because, I'm like, Zeke, you had to have had to coordinate because you're doing the calls thing. I'm like, pretty cool little gimmick, just not surprising us. Let's not get out of, we're not surprising everything,
Can't be doing that.
I need to know a little bit about people. If I didn't know as much about Paul Heyman or what they got going on for the whole thing, show's stupid. And he's like, no, they literally found out just moments before. I'm like, it's classic WWE.
That's right.
And then today I fucking saw Woj coming on.
Yeah.
And Zeke stopped the train as it was going down the path there. I was about to cut a Polish promo that I've never really cut before. And Zeke's like, whoa, Schefter.
Schefter.
Damn, I see Schefter's head pop in there. And I'm like, oh, I fucking forgot that we have Shefty and Woj on today.
Same day.
This is massive.
Back to back.
Let's go. Did he break any news there? Kind of. Threw out some hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Threw out some teams that he kind of need to look into some things.
Yep.
Said Leslie Frazier, Sean McDermott, think they would have been able to figure that out.
Yeah, for sure.
If that would have been a thing. Stefan Diggs, timing of when he's getting the ball. What else did he say, AJ?
I don't know. Not other than that.
D-Hop
Not
and
much
Cook.
happening.
The 49ers deal that Shanahan and Lynch were actually on the same page, and that
they did.
Lynch ain't making any fucking decisions up there. It's Shanahan's gig.
Yeah, and you delivered it much differently, but that is certainly what it is.
Yeah, that's basically what he said.
How about Schefter looking at the camera going, so at the end of that whole thing, it's like, oh, you're saying if Shanahan wants some, like, hey, we're doing this.
Yeah.
All right, shout out to the tag team over there. I did not know that was the case.
No.
But good luck to everybody in the NFL trying to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's so much shit popping off right now, so many possibilities, and we'll continue to talk about them more on the other side of this goddamn break.
Hell yeah.
Had to pee almost whenever he started talking about when he started talking about Purdy.
Well, that's a while ago.
That was like 75% of the way through the convo.
Yep.
That was a long piece of the convo, too.
Yeah, big part.
Pretty wild. Donald's ahead of Trey Lance already.
Yeah.
And that has it been 2 or 3 years he's been in that system.
And them saying, like, yeah, they've seen it, practice, OTAs, spring training day.
Oh, jeez.
They've seen him, so they've seen him.
I looked up during that. Darnold just turned 26. He came in when he was like 19.
He's been in the NFL for 10 years.
Yeah. We've seen Darnold, too.
Hey, maybe this is when Darnold has developed.
Yeah, and this is his
People
time.
talk about slow development, kind of patient with the game. Has the talent. Has he been in the proper system for him? When he left the Gase umbrella, we're like, oh, he's going to crush it.
Yep.
And then he didn't, but was it the situation or was it him?
They say he can flick it, though.
They said he can really spin
flick
it.
it.
Great, my uncle.
Darius Butler did great. Darius Butler did film study on him.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, he might be able to spin it, but he's seeing the same coverages in the first quarter and in the fourth quarter and making the same exact mistakes.
Yeah.
And that was because, now was Darius searching for film to affirm what he was saying?
Could be.
Because he said he popped off one day. Sam Darnold isn't good.
He stinks.
Or whatever. And then the Jets people, actually, who were protecting him at the time, kind of came after him on the internet. So Darius said, okay, and went into the film room or whatever and said, I'm going to do actual film study if I recall how the situation went. And then he came on. Can't wait to talk about this.
Yep.
And he said, that's what he said. He said, yeah, he can throw the ball, but we're talking about turnovers a lot in that Shanahan system. Hey, you're going here.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
I'm telling you where to go.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because what if he is a guy?
A little bit more dial back.
And then what happens with Brock Purdy?
They'll trade him for 8 first-round picks.
Which people would certainly somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get to a break. Adrian Wojnarowski's on.
Hell
Here we go.
In the next hour. Ain't that right, AJ?
Yes, that is exactly right. Cannot wait. What is it again?
Adrian Wojnarowski.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You go down to Wojnarowski's, you get some good pierogies down there.
All done.
The Polish, man. Pigs in a Blanket, too, I believe, are the...
Oh, yeah.
You bet.
They love them. What else do they do?
Punchki Day is amazing.
What's that?
Fat Tuesday, basically.
What's it called? Yeah, Chicago, big Polish, right?
Yeah, huge.
That's the
Polish sausage.
Yeah, that's Chicago. Massive.
Punchki is like a donut. It's like filled with jelly, essentially.
Oh my God, these
on
Polish
Punchki Day.
people are crushing it.
Sure.
Make good food.
What's your problem, Connor? You got a new mullet, new helmet?
Nope, got no
Can't open
problem.
your eyes to things that are awesome. You hear that donut with jelly inside?
Yeah, sounds
I
unbelievable.
don't like jelly-filled anything.
Yeah, I agree, actually.
These are different, though.
I do.
It's a good
What if it
jelly.
was Jam
filled?
Perhaps Jam.
It is Jam filled.
Jam.
It is actually Jam from PK's fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whoa.
Always comes chilled.
Good jam.
So you lose Shakira either way if you have the Jam.
Yeah, that is something you have to sacrifice. You can never listen to another Shakira song.
Okay.
Jam.
You think he can't even, like... PK's like, get it off, get it off.
Jam.
All right. This show sucks. There'll be more of it on the other side. You are the best people on earth. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5.
5.
Today has become a massive day in our program's history because just yesterday at about 5:15 p.m. I was sent a text that said, hey, I think it's time. And I said, what do you mean you think it's time? I think it's time to let the world hear where we're at. And I said, Aaron, you let me know if you want me to let the world know about you coming on tomorrow. And he said, yeah, let's do it. I put a tweet out saying, hey, listen, you are cordially invited to Aaron Rodgers Wednesday tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just 56 minutes, 34 seconds away from right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. What's up, dude?
Good afternoon. Good morning here. Good afternoon there.
There's a lot going on in your world, bro. I don't even know if you know this or if you've been so locked in.
This isn't a decision day. This isn't me deciding and announcing to the world that this is what's going on. In fact, that's already happened. You know, we're actually days past this. This is kind of clearing things up, I think, for everybody interested. And I'm going to get into this now, if you don't mind, Pat. I'm going to go for a little bit here.
Hey, go ahead. There's 430,000 people currently, so a lot more people watching than normal, and they are all interested because you're a fucking dog as a football player. So go ahead and do your thing, pal.
The timeline, which I think is important, that's why I'm going to go through it, is that in 2020, they drafted Jordan to replace me. There wasn't replacement right away, but as is the case with the Packers and kind of the way they do things, they like to get rid of players like a year early instead of a year late in their minds. There's probably some people who believe that I was a descending player and that it was time to make a change. Everything that I was told in the week that I was in Green Bay was, take as long as you want. We want you to retire a Packer. If you want to come back and play, obviously the door is wide open. When I came out of the darkness, something changed. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but something changed. I got back to my phone after 5 days off of it. I realized that there'd been a little bit of a shift. I heard from multiple people that I trust around the league, players mostly, that there was some shopping going on. They were interested in actually moving me. At this point, you know, I got to admit, I went in the darkness, 90% retiring, 10% playing. My mind was, I'm tired of this. I hadn't got back into my workouts yet, and I thought that was what was best for me. So I went in the darkness to contemplate a lot of different things, but one day I spent entirely on the reality I was retired, and one day I spent entirely on the reality that I was coming back and playing. When I came out, it was clear to me at that point that although the Packers were going to say the right thing publicly, that they were ready to move on. I don't know what changed that or what moved that. If they just said, hey, we need to make a decision here because he hasn't made a decision yet. Again, there's no victims here. I'm not sitting here as a victim. I love Green Bay. I love the fan base. They're incredible. I live for playing for them. A lot of love for the organization. I just think I wish that in the beginning of the offseason, that had been the conversation. This is a credible profession, but it's a tough business.
You've said that
And
for
I
a
think
long time.
Some of these issues were things I was talking about 2 years ago. It was how do we treat older players on the way out? And it's ironic that now I'm that player, but I think that's the beauty in life is the sense of humor that the universe has. No malice, no bitterness towards Packers. So I've shifted my focus to entertaining what the plane would look like. The Packers granted obviously permission for the Jets to come out and visit. We had a nice visit. At this point, as I sit here, I think since Friday, I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Okay.
I haven't been holding anything up at this point. It's been compensation that the Packers are trying to get for me, kind of digging their heels in. So I would just, I think it is interesting at this point to step back and look at the whole picture. My side, love and appreciation, gratitude for everything that Green Bay has done for me. So much love and gratitude, and just heart open for the Packer fans. And what it's meant to be their quarterback. And also the reality of the situation. Like, it is what it is. Packers would like to move on. They've let me know that in so many words. Because I still have that fire, and I want to play, and I would like to play in New York. It's just a matter of getting that done at this point.
Okay, people in New York are doing this right now. People in New York are pumped right now. You sent a list of demands. Need you to sign Lazard. You need to sign Randall Cobb. I want Jordy Nelson out of the fucking ranch. Did that all happen?
It's so ridiculous.
Hey, that's happening, though. Like, you need to know.
Ask Schefter what I texted him when he somehow got my number and texted me. I didn't respond to Diana Rossini, I think her name is. I would say the same thing that I told Schefter. Lose my number. Nice try.
Schefter tweeted the photo. He said, Aaron did not lie. There it is. That's confirming. Lose my number. Good try, though.
I'll speak for myself. I'm sure there'll be people that have their sources. From what I've seen, it's like I had a sheet of paper when I met with the Jets and I said, sign these people. And that's not the reality. It's so stupid to think that I would do it, number one. Now, did they ask me about certain guys that I played with over years? Of course. Did I talk glowingly about teammates that I love? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Sue me. Don't actually.
Like, my only demand is for transparency. And if you say some bullshit, sometimes it's not even worth it. But like I said, when something gets out there and then assumed to be true, then it can take on a life of its own. It can go from, there was a conversation about 20 different players to, he wants these guys to be signed, otherwise he doesn't want to come. It's like, come on, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's all in the delivery of the information.
And I'm just really, really thankful. I got to be the starting quarterback of the Packers for 15 years. I got to be in an organization for 18 years. 18 years, that's a teenager. That's becoming an adult. And that's what I did there. And it was because of the people I met there and the places I went and the times that I had. I love you, Green Bay. Thank you. And I'm as sad as some of you are, but we'll meet again.
Massive show yesterday. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
And that says that the peak concurrence for 496, 285, but I've seen a lot of photos from people that are 498. Wow. Nonetheless, felt like afterwards, looking back on it, everybody was hanging out with us yesterday. Obviously not because of us. We know that. But Aaron, what a dog, dude.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Winter Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. Hour 3 of this sports program starts right now.
Sports!
That's AJ Hawk. The Talks Table is here at Boston Connor with a fresh new. Today is the brand new day for the rest of your life mullet, Boston Connor.
Here we go. Thank you. Can't wait for the rest of it.
Next to that mullet is a John Deere cap that is on top of the head of Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Stefan Diggs is here. 14-year NFL vet, Adam Pac-Man Jones is here. And Adrian Wojnarowski is joining us in moments.
Let's go.
AJ, I don't know how many times you practiced saying his name. I will say that I've practiced it over the last 5 minutes more times than I would like to admit publicly. This is a tough one for my style of speaking to say. This is a tongue twister, but what I do know is this man's going to have all the breaking news about the NBA draft that's happening tomorrow night, and it matters because there's potentially a NBA changer getting drafted at the top of it, a 7'4" man simply known by the name of Wemby out of France, who's 19 and more enlightened and deeper thinking than any of us in this room
for sure.
combined.
No doubt.
What else do we need to know about? I guess there's just a trade.
Yeah. Lillard and the Trailblazers, what they're going to do with that pick.
Paul George potentially getting traded.
Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
Yep.
Out of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Zion.
Which Brandon Miller.
Yeah, we remember.
Player. Guy's really good at basketball.
Really good.
You know how we know he's really good at basketball?
Why?
Because he's still playing basketball.
Great.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
And what happened in the lines being introduced for those games right after.
He's very, 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 very good at the basketball.
Yes.
He says Paul George, best player of all time. Not LeBron James, or a player of this generation. Not Paul George. Brandon Miller did. So I enjoy that Brandon Miller is a free thinker.
Yeah, right.
I like that he is not conforming to anybody. What else do we need to know about what's going on? Adrian Wojnarowski will tell us that in a matter of a couple of moments. Let's talk about some things that are happening in the NFL world quickly. And, Schefter kind of hinted at it a little bit. Josh Jacobs, another franchise tag running back that we have not talked about. Yeah. All conversation going through Saquon and the Giants. Josh Jacobs, hell of a football player.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Seems like it's been rocky with Josh since day one when he was playing in the Hall of Fame game. How do you feel like that works out? And we haven't really talked about Josh Jacobs at all. That's a real thing going on right now in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's a real thing, including they don't have a quarterback right now. You need a running game. You ain't got nobody to throw Adams the ball. You need to figure out something quick. But I think he deserved to get paid, man. He's been playing really good.
Yeah.
For a good little time, so hopefully he'll get paid.
Well,
hopefully they can meet him in the middle somewhere. We were just talking about the Barkley thing. We saying no, but like it's gonna be players that did the same thing that got down in Baltimore did, and we say he was hurt, but sometimes you gotta make business decisions, and I just don't see the best player on the team getting not even half of a guy that's not even catching 200 balls. Or
what about
whatever.
Jimmy? I mean, you talk about Jimmy G getting paid now. Granted, it's all become incentive-based based on a physical of the foot that requires surgery that we didn't know about. We thought the shoulder was the problem. Turns out he still had a foot problem that was lingering, I guess, into his physical with the Las Vegas Raiders. But he's getting paid whatever that contract is. And Josh Jacobs is like, what is, this guy hasn't even played for us.
Yeah.
This guy is, how come I
You think they're going to pay him? It seems like they're on that path where, hey, let's franchise him, and then we'll let somebody else pay him.
Josh McDaniels probably never, but probably not going to pay a running back.
There is little to no chance he gets paid. You just mentioned Josh Jacobs is saying, I think Josh McDaniels is the one saying, okay, Josh, you want to get paid? You're not going to get paid as a Raider. And that's just the reality of the situation. And I think because of the Darren Waller situation, how that played out with Josh McDaniels, I'm not so sure McDaniels is like, hey, this town's only big enough for one Josh. And unfortunately, that's me.
It ain't you, pal. Go ahead, Tom.
You were just talking because we're always talking about Saquon and stuff. Josh Jacobs has arguably had the better career so far. He had almost 1,700 yards last year.
He's
had
awesome.
Three of his 4 seasons had 1,000. The one that he didn't, he had 800. He's had over 10 touchdowns, like almost every that's crazy. Like
also,
people forget about.
Was homeless, right?
Living in his car with his dad.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs, homeless at one point in his life, grinding through everything like that. And if you just look at the Raiders situation, and in this past year, I guess it's just fresh topic, especially in the offseason, if we're talking about a player. He played in that Hall of Fame game, And when we saw him in the Hall of Fame game, anybody that's been around the NFL was like, Why is Josh Jacobs playing in a USFL game? Right There is a USFL game happening in NFL uniforms in Canton, Ohio at a high school stadium. And Josh fucking Jacobs is the only one playing there. And he got like
15 carries.
A lot. Yeah, he got the ball a lot. And it was like, whoa, what the hell's going on? And then we automatically assume, well, Josh McDaniels and him must not get along. He works his way back, seemingly quiet. Didn't cause a single peep about it all. Gets a C on his chest. He becomes like the most valuable part of the team. I wonder, Josh Jacobs is a human. He remembers how this whole thing started. And then whenever the business offers being made, he's probably remembering, like, this guy wasn't in on me ever.
Wanted me out.
That's an easy thing you can see kind of get personal maybe. And then he tweets out bad business, which that could be to anything.
Of course.
That could be to anything, AJ. He might have been watching, the Vanderpump Rules reunion.
Shark Tank.
Definitely. He's a big Tom Sandoval fan here.
Okay, so that's the one everybody hates, right?
Well, actually, no, not. Yeah, that's not the right one, right?
I don't know.
No, it is.
I don't think he has a lot of fans.
The one with the mustache.
He talks shit on Pittsburgh too. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Fuck.
Who did?
Sand a loser.
What? Who did? Sand a what?
This guy plays in a fucking cover band, okay, and he was bitching about having to go tour and do a show in Pittsburgh. Fuck you, pal.
Hey, pal, we don't even know you're there. Cover band's playing. We're not there for you. We're there for the booze.
Donnie Irish smash a fucking guitar over his head.
You're goddamn right. And then he said, call Leah, dude. The whole thought, okay, that this scumbag. What, AJ?
What happened? I didn't hear. What did he say about Pittsburgh?
He was bitching about having to go play with his cover band in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's like, hey, bub.
Great place.
Just learned that you said that, and I can start piecing some things together. Everybody hates you because you said that. I think that is why.
No. Everybody don't hate him.
What are you talking
Hold
about?
the phone.
Everybody don't hate him.
Oh, Pac-Man likes him because of that.
I'm just saying.
What are you
said
talking-
everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You do not want to be on this
So a
guy's
lot of
side.
people.
Pac-Man, bad idea. Bad idea.
Everybody hates this guy.
I don't know what he did, but he did something that made every human hate him.
Yep.
I'd never seen, so every once in a while there'd be a random fucking trend. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
All capital letters normally.
Yep.
It's like, well, somebody really wants to make a statement. And this one had like 5 digits under it, the amount of tweets.
Yep.
Holy shit. There's like 55,000 tweets about this.
What was the statement?
This guy fucked up.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
we're
did.
talking.
He cheated.
Is that what it was?
And he lied.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
he
what-
stole.
What?
Yeah.
Lie, cheat, and steal?
Yeah.
Yep.
All the
I
above.
think the cheat one was the big one, but
Yeah, I don't know about the stealing. I kind of just threw that in there because I thought it might
Oh,
sound
allegedly,
good.
allegedly.
But
Got it.
But from what
Arson.
what I've gathered,
Boom.
this guy is a massive piece of shit.
He's the opposite
Scumbag.
of what we did with Joe DiNardo is what was happening to him
Oh, my
on
God.
the internet.
Is he a singer? He's a singer? Is he lead or is he guitar?
Yeah, he's lead, but I mean, it's cover band. This
What's,
guy-
what's he playing?
He's not an axe man. I know that.
If you have enough talent, though, it can make up for everything else. All these people that hate him, if he comes out with one banger,
True.
everybody will forget about it because he has talent. The guy stinks, I assume, with what he said about Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
No talent having son of a bitch.
Yeah, makes sense. He's a mixologist, I believe, as well, and people say he's not even good at making drinks.
Dude, John Taffer would judge you on that, pal.
But yeah.
Listen,
You
I
don't
know
want
about
that.
the PMS system, too.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called?
POS.
There it is.
Piece of shit system if it's Tom.
Yep.
Bingo.
Point of sale if it's anybody else.
Also, this guy talks shit about a friend of mine's mom, I guess. I just
What?
Oh.
The Chrisleys?
Dude from WWE that works there a long time. No. Nobody's talking bad about the Chrisleys right now. They're doing hard time.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
They're doing hard time.
Plenty of people are talking bad about the Chrisleys, but yeah, you can continue.
Are they still in there?
I think so for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
12 years, I think.
Long time.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't love it.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't be doing what she was doing so loudly.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't be having your ass out in the street, Jerry Jones
Yeah.
said. He was making, let's make a show about what we're fucking.
Yeah.
You know, that's a bad idea.
When Mahomes retires, she'll be out.
Yeah, you're right. I'm hearing a friend of mine push this man on television.
Whoa.
That's what I just learned from Zito.
Who?
Guy works at WWE. We know his sister's in that show. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
I guess in
really?
one of the episodes.
Take sisters on.
No, not Undertaker.
Oh, okay.
I was saying, what the hell?
Very talented documentary guy.
He's
awesome.
Super cool looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Remember he came into
Yes.
last office, rock star.
Yes.
Drains a 3 in leather and boots.
Yep.
Long hair.
Dog.
Dog. His sister is in the show. I did know that.
Really?
I guess he was a part of this whole thing. He got into it with this guy. I hate this guy. Barry's Pittsburgh, pushes my guy. Fuck this guy.
That dude's a big son of a bitch, too.
You were trying to be on his side? What is your problem?
I thought it was all about the Pittsburgh thing. I didn't know.
No.
I know I was all of that.
With the West Virginia football shirt on, I mean, everything's showing up wrong with West Virginia football right now.
No, West Virginia basketball is currently going through it. West Virginia football is good. They just announced some award winners, okay, from their workout this spring going into
right.
summer.
Put your fives up.
Yep.
Sweet.
Put your fives up.
Why do you get
there's
an award?
champions. There's
Booker
like
T
No.
Performers,
That was the
what is
hashtag. Put your fives up.
for the thing?
Yeah. Fifth quarter. Fifth quarter gang, I believe, bottom right.
Chambers.
And these guys are fucking leading the team out on the fifth
I
quarter.
didn't even get down to the bottom right. I just.
That's why. Yeah. Put
Pretty
your fives
sick.
up.
Bottom middle is about to have
Pat,
80
how'd we
catches.
land on Chambers Elite Climbers?
sponsored.
Huh?
Got to be a sponsor. Out of
there
everything
a
we could
person?
have set up
Is
under
Chamber
there,
the strength coach?
it's Chambers.
Like Harry Potter Chambers?
Could it be like how they name a head coach? You know, the head coach is sponsored.
Do we know any of these guys? I mean, hopefully we will at some point. But like, GG, the guy I've been talking up, is he Chambers Elite
I don't
Climber?
think so.
No.
Always straw.
I thought GG was transferring.
Some of these workout awards you get, is Garrett Green on her?
No. I said I couldn't find the fifth quarter part.
Yeah,
I didn't know they publicized the workout honors. Does every school do this?
So I think we have started doing it over the last couple of years, but people do this. And then whenever you see, like, their star players are getting their weight room awards as well, like, I think it makes me feel good. I'm like, oh, that guy's
good
probably
sign.
probably that guy's probably a guy. So I'm thinking all these guys are guys I just never heard of them. You know, Ollie Straw. We know Ollie Straw.
Yeah.
He's a player.
Kyle Tyler had like 17 sacks last year, I think.
I think he works at the public golf course. He just walked on. I think.
GG
I'm not
better walk
sure.
his back because fucking Austin Brinkman is coming for QB1.
I just want to let everybody know, okay? Happy Valley, week 1, fifth quarter, it's on.
It's on.
Could you imagine this thing goes to overtime?
Oh.
No, I actually can't. I can't even imagine it going into overtime, actually.
What do you think the score is?
I don't know, because is it Ollie Straw or is it Austin Brinkman who's playing middle linebacker for you guys this year?
Ollie Straw.
I'm not sure. I just don't think they'll be able to hang with.
You see fucking Leighton Bitchdale?
I like that guy. Yeah.
Look at that.
That's one dog.
Man, CJ looked like he'll hit something.
Yeah, hell yeah, CJ will lay the wood. Dude, look at CJ Cole. Look at that neck.
Let's go, CJ.
Austin Brinkman does look like he can just bite someone's ear off.
I'm a little bit. What's your problem?
That's the biggest compliment I've made today about.
He's
West
happy.
Virginia.
He won an
Don't worry
award.
about Michael.
What's that?
Who?
Michael Hayes?
Michael Hayes?
Don't worry.
He's got
He's a
different.
scrappy son of a
If
bitch.
I was looking at this guy before the game, this is one of the faces that I would circle.
Why?
And this is when he's trying to start a fight.
Yeah.
Why would you circle him?
He looked like one of the guys.
Looks like the line is around 19 and a half or 20 for that.
This
Penn
one
State.
right here. This one.
Okay.
Put your money on West Virginia then, Pat.
What
Or
is-
19-point dogs.
19 and a half.
Bro, I'm going money line. What
That's
are you
it.
talking about?
I'm going
Yeah, you
alternate
are.
spread 39. Are you kidding me?
West Virginia?
No, Penn State.
What?
What, bro?
Minus 200
They are going to
probably.
set the tone. Penn State's going to set the
Bro,
tone.
Everywhere's 19 and a half. At DraftKings, you get 20. So
Chambers Elite Climbers. We're talking CEC. Oi.
What?
Oi. Oi. CEC. That's why these boys are fighting in the weight room. The Chambers Elite Climbers. They put them on that climbing machine. These dudes, elite. We're talking like people are able to get up there,
All the way up the mountain.
boom, all the way up. And then guess what? They're coming back down, grabbing some friends. They're going back up there.
That's right.
They're like those people that live in those towns.
The
in
Sherpas.
The Sherpas in Nepal.
Yep.
That is what a Chambers Elite Climber is. Willing to go to the mountaintop that you have to train your entire life for. And while we're up there, put a motherfucker on my back. I'll climb back
Let's
down.
go.
I'll grab some more.
Yeah.
That's a Chambers Elite Climber.
Yeah.
Neil
We
Brown
sure
has to unplug the machine to get these guys to stop climbing.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who, I don't know how he is at climbing, but I will say he ascended his profession quickly.
Yeah.
Now, we would have assumed that this man has been the go-to source for NBA inside information for a lot longer, I think, than as we started doing the research. 2010, I believe he started at Yahoo or was working at
Yeah,
Yahoo.
he's at Yahoo. Yep.
2017, he joins ESPN, and then all of a sudden we learn quickly of this thing called a Woj bomb. Holy shit, this Polish guy has some inside information that nobody else has in the NBA. You know, blossoming into an absolute icon that goes alongside the league that is the NBA. Ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Wojnarowski.
Thank you, Pat. Good to be with you guys. Good to be with you guys finally.
Woj.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I knew you as for a long time. Woj bomb.
Yep.
Woj bomb. Woj bomb. And then all of a sudden I've heard a couple people say it, but I don't pay attention close. Wojnarowski. Is that right?
That's it. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Wojnarowski.
Oh, no.
Wojnarowski.
Oh, no.
I always knew my name was coming in homeroom when it'd be like, Vernon, Wilson, and then there'd be a long pause with the teacher, and you knew your name was next.
So what
they were trying to navigate it.
I know that happens, so I would like to not be that person. What is proper pronunciation?
Wojnarowski.
Wojnarowski.
Okay.
Wojnarowski. We're talking to Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN. I feel very good saying it. Let's dive into it. So you just announced a trade just took place between the Nuggets and the Pacers. Now, it's not any high-profile draft pick, so it's not going to garner that many headlines, but we are in the NBA draft season. Do you expect a lot of movement? Is this normal for the NBA draft? And what do the next 24 hours look like for you?
I think there's going to be a lot of movement, Pat, not just picks. This was a pick for Denver, picking up number 29 and 32 in tonight's draft, in Thursday night's draft. This is a Denver team that they got another first-round pick from Oklahoma City during the finals. What they're trying to do is maximize this championship window with Nikola Jokic and this really high payroll. Can they just get some young players in there that are going to be fairly inexpensive, build out their bench, and try to win as many championships as they can with trying to navigate this new salary cap that's coming, new collective bargaining agreement. So the Nuggets have been aggressive in this last week or two, trying to put themselves in position. They're probably going to lose, or very likely to lose, Bruce Brown in free agency.
No.
He declined his team option today.
Michael Malone
his
told
player
me
option.
he wasn't going anywhere. Michael Malone told me after a fireball with DeAndre,
Jordan,
a fireball hug. Go ahead.
Listen, Malone is going to be aggressive in trying to pull at the heartstrings with Bruce Brown, stay a part of this thing. Let's do it again. Bruce Brown is in position to make a lot more money as a free agent than the Nuggets are allowed to offer him, and that's going to be the challenge. He could stay in Denver, but he would have to do it for a lot less than is going to be available out there in the market.
And he is a dad, so you got to think about the next generation and everything. AJ, your question for Wojnarowski.
Woj, what about the Miami Heat? What do you think they're going to do, I guess, to try to build around Jimmy Butler and everything else they have? And do you think they can sustain the success that they're having and they had this year, and they can continue to do this and make deep runs in the playoffs?
It's remarkable what they've done, how consistent this organization has been, despite not having lots of high draft picks. They're always a free agent destination. They're always creative with sign-in trades, how they landed Jimmy Butler or Kyle Lowry. But listen, they're always big game hunting in Miami. Pat Riley is always looking for the next big star. They're not afraid to trade their future draft picks because they have shown they can go out without picks or with second-round picks and find rotation players, starting level players. It's remarkable. And certainly, listen, I think Miami, they're going to be very anxious to watch what happens in Portland to see if there's any point this summer where Damian Lillard becomes available. He's not available now. He says he wants to be in Portland, and the Blazers have shut down anybody who's called about the possibility of trying to trade for him. But certainly, Pat Riley is always going to be real aggressive in trying to improve his team. Listen, they want to make that last step. I'm sure they're going to continue to be real active this summer.
Connor, your question for Woj.
Yeah, Woj, also with the Heat, we're kind of hearing right now that the Trailblazers, instead of talking to them about Lillard, are reaching out about Bam. Is there a possibility that depending on that second pick that the Trailblazers might have a few more options and they might go after Bam? And then in the Eastern Conference, are the Celtics going to move Jaylen Brown? Is something happening with that? What do you expect to see on tomorrow night with the Eastern Conference?
I'd be a little dubious about the idea of Miami wanting to engage with Portland about Bam Adebayo. Listen, they want to potentially they would want to dislodge Damian Lillard from Portland, and sending him an all-star level center from Miami means not only are you losing Damian Lillard, are you losing Adebayo, you're probably taking yourself out of position to eventually be the team who could trade for Damian Lillard. So I don't really imagine that as a scenario that really makes much, if any, sense for Miami. And listen, Jaylen Brown in Boston, that supermax contract that he's eligible for, almost $300 million, that's going to certainly be the decision for that organization. I would be surprised if they aren't willing to fully invest in Jaylen Brown. Elite two-way player in the league. And I think what's important for teams is you want to keep these guys under contract. You want to keep great players under contract because then at least you have the ability to trade them down the road. You don't want to lose players like that in free agency, and I don't think you want to sell short. But listen, the new labor agreement, the new collective bargaining agreement that has created what's called the second apron is going to make teams have to make really difficult decisions on payroll, who they can keep, who they can't keep. But if you're Boston, I still think Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, you figure out all the rest of the roster around those two players because those kind of guys are just too hard to acquire. And generally, you better keep them.
Yeah, you might as well, unless Jimmy Butler's going to come into Boston again, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's a whole entire thing. And it sounds like from the people we've talked to, and obviously you've talked to a lot more people in this world, this new CBA is going to make teams kind of have some troubles paying them like number 3 and number 4 on the team. Because there's like a tax. Like, obviously, the top 2 you're going to be able to pay. But then there's a tax that comes with keeping guys on your team. And I think that's for parity reasons, is what they're saying?
It's 100% for parity reasons. And what it is, you can keep paying the tax, but you lose the ability to use your mid-level exception or to sign buyout players. If you're in that second apron, that higher spending area, you can lose first-round picks. And so there's so many penalties for staying in that high spending area. What the league has wanted to do is spread the talent around the NBA, spread it to smaller markets. I think over time, that's what you will see this new salary cap do. That's what the NBA's wanted, and they're getting there with it now with these new rules.
Yeah, we need Monix and Flint.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need to keep this thing going. We need to win the Mega Bowl. Last question for you here, Woj, from Pac-Man Jones.
Woj, how you doing, man? Zion Williams.
Pac-Man.
My bad. How you doing?
Good.
Pac's good too, right?
Yeah, I'm real good.
Yeah, hey, we're good, Woj.
Yeah. Zion Williams, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Luka, LeBron James. How big is Victor compared to those guys with being the number 1 pick as far as coming into the league trying to be the next LeBron James or Luka, I meant to say, or whoever?
Yeah, I mean, listen, those are all immortal players. Well, certainly immortal talents, guys who came in the league. Zion Williamson, I don't think he's accomplished quite as much as the rest of the group you mentioned, but Victor Wembanyama has a chance to be as good as anybody who's ever played this game. He has a chance to be as dominant. I think the only real comparison to him in terms of an ability to come into the league and dominate right away, which LeBron James largely did.
Oh, yeah, Cleveland.
It's just LeBron James and Victor, and at 7'5", he plays the game with guard skills. There's never quite been anyone like him, and so that's the reason. Mike Schmitz, who used to be our draft analyst at ESPN, he's now in Portland trying to figure out what they're going to do with that 3rd pick. He started telling me about Wembanyama when he was 14 years old, when he was scouting him over there at 14, 15, saying, there is a player coming unlike anything we have ever seen, and he is here now.
Yeah, hell yeah, he is, and as are you. We can't thank you enough. Good luck the next 24 hours, as I assume your phone is going to be alive. Thank you for your time. Adrian Wojnarowski, ladies and gentlemen. Then ask him about Zion.
Which part? Like, what about Zion?
Bingo. That would have been the question. Like, what should we be focusing on here about Zion?
Yeah.
Like, is he getting traded? Is he in shape? Is he getting traded? Is he back in the Pelicans? Earlier we talked to Jay Bilas, and he was like, some of these guys who are bully balls, like if Shaq was to come into the NBA right now, they would make an offense around him, and they would kind of go. And you see how the Nuggets kind of operate through Joker. It's like Zion's a triple-double machine wherever he's on there. Have they ever thought about, like, presenting a case to him where it's like, hey, if you figure out how to, like, be an adult, like, maybe we'll, like, build a team around you.
They'll be so good.
And because he's so good at basketball.
Yeah.
What does he know that maybe Shams doesn't about why Zion can't get his ass on the fucking court?
Mm-hmm.
What is the problem with this guy?
And it's not like it's just Zion. Like Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum are unbelievable too. So if Zion were to just go all in and play, 80 games, even 70 games, they would be one of the top teams in the West.
So we're thinking this is potentially on Zion's side here is what we're working on.
I think that's user
error. Well, we didn't know. We didn't know.
Asking Zion to play 80 games is like telling someone who's never swam before, like, hey, if you just start swimming, you could win a gold medal. You could be Michael Phelps.
True.
Like, it's basically the same thing. Like, this guy's going to play 25 to 30 games. Maybe. He's going to be out. When he's out, he's going to put on a bunch of weight, and then he's going to take 10x the amount of time on the other side to come back and get back in time.
You're a hater, dude.
I'm not. I want to watch him play, but at the same point, it's like, how many fucking chances are we going to give this guy? They've already paid him $180 million or whatever, and they just let him do whatever the fuck he wants. He's just running around roughshod in New Orleans doing whatever the hell he wants.
Well, not just
and they
in
don't
New
care.
Orleans. He's also, I believe he's operating on the internets as well. But like now it's been blocked. You're going to have to find a new app. But the whole The whole,
True social, see there.
the two
Careful what you
sides, the Pelicans and the Zion side.
Yeah.
It's been fascinating kind of watching it unfold. Because remember, we thought he was almost healthy. He was putting videos out of him fucking windmill dunking from the foul line, putting an indent into the wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like explosive. He's back. This is Instagram Zion. And then all of a sudden, the Pelicans, the word we're getting from Shams is like, they still want to kind of take this thing slow and steady. It's like, put him on the fucking court. We don't know how much we're going to have of him. And then as we continue to learn more and more, it's like, Zion, come on, you get in some shape, pal.
Just roll him out there.
He's holding him hostage.
Will you take it easy with the way you're speaking?
No, I mean, like, let's roll him out there, put him on the court. It's, no matter what shape he's in, let's see what he does.
He's drinking Starry.
Yeah, which isn't helping.
It's zero.
Yeah,
Zero cal.
No sugar,
Starry
no
zero.
Yeah. When you drink 30 of them in a day, then it starts to be a problem.
I would like to let everybody know, because Zion was in that commercial, amongst others, I did attempt this story, which is the Pepsi version of Sprite.
Yeah.
I gave it a little sipski and a tiny can, a mini can.
Oh, nice.
Like
8
those.
ouncer.
Those are great.
Yeah, they are great, especially whenever it's like a little flight, a little sample of something.
bingo.
Sure.
I didn't hate it. It was better, than I thought it would be.
Okay.
But I haven't had a Sierra Mist in years because, like, over a decade ago, I said, I'm never putting that shit in my mouth. Because I'll just go with Sprite or something. I'll go Mountain Dew if I have to. I'll go Mountain Dew if it's Pepsi. So I haven't even attempted. So I don't know if they just repackaged Sierra Mist and put Starry on it or not.
Probably.
But it wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Sierra Mist was fine. Sierra Mist is okay. It's not as good as Sprite, but it's fine.
Bingo. So I would never. That was a decision I had to make, though. Is it close enough to Sprite to not choose Mountain Dew? It never was.
No way.
You know what I mean? It never was. So, like, I'm either getting tea, I'm getting some form of, like, Arnold Palmer, like a mix, or I'm getting a Sprite if available. Now, if they don't have Sprite available, so that means I'm in the mood for something carbonated.
Sure.
And they only have Pepsi of products. I'm going Mountain Dew every time. I'm not picking Sierra Mist. And that's the only time I've been around Sierra Mist for, probably 2 decades now at this point.
And thus Starry was born because everyone was like, Sierra Mist sucks. They had to actually just change the entire name and look.
Did they change a recipe, though?
I don't think so.
Would you know it?
Probably tweaked it. I bet they tweaked it a little bit. They probably can't legally put the exact same product out with a different name. I bet they changed one thing.
Starry was pretty good.
So, okay, let's say you walk into a convenience store.
Your taste buds change every 5 years.
Absolutely.
The biggest change between Sierra Mist and Starry is what makes them sweet. Sierra Mist ingredients include sugar, while Starry is replaced with high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, wow.
So it's worse for you?
Yeah, let's put the worst
man.
shit in here.
Zion's drinking this?
Yeah.
No.
I
need more.
Know how Huggy blew a
Cans
0.25?
all over his bathroom, allegedly.
To your point.
Yeah. Zion's blowing a 0.25 of fructose corn syrup.
Well, hey, I mean, that's progress, though. You'd rather have him drinking that than just, 2 liters of pancake batter, which it seemed like he was doing.
True. Great point.
Oh. Congrats, though. He's having a kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a father now.
Yes, he is.
Congratulations.
That'll change things.
Hopefully.
Someone let him know you can't put Starry in the baby bottle. You got to buy formula.
Yeah.
I had no idea where you were going with that. Pancake batter was not a. That were really. Because then in my head, I saw him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
In a big bucket. Yeah.
Zion, we're pulling for you, pal, but it seems like it's not going to happen.
You're letting us
Get your
die.
shit figured out.
It's got on the phone.
Same conversation for 3 years.
Could you imagine drinking that thing, though? Like, you
so
could.
thick.
Oh, yeah.
No. You
I'm
could,
thinking
though.
about it.
Oh, yeah.
You could get it down. So, like, the thought of Zion, in my head, I saw him actually attempting to drink that thing.
Like a pancake batter mustache.
Oh, it looks great.
Delicious. Delicious.
Got raw eggs in there, too.
Choco chips
Good
in there.
protein.
Yeah, you're right. Protein's in there. You forget about that.
Yeah.
That's why whenever I have my Ritz crackers with peanut butter on them, I say there's a little protein in there.
You got to work out, though,
It's a
when you
good
eat
thing.
protein.
Well, that's the thing. Zion seemingly doesn't have the right people around him saying, hey, let's fucking move a little bit.
Yeah.
We can transform everything here. Now, he already got a couple $100 million. So
Yeah. Which is the problem.
let's go to the phones. I mean, if you're him, this is like being raised as like an oil child.
Yeah.
They're like, this guy needs to work hard and be a better person. And it's like, he has a couple $100 million no matter what type of shitbag he is for the rest of his life. Some people take advantage of that situation.
Yeah.
And some people try to prove that they earned that and deserve that, trying to make their own path. But some people do not. Some people do not. They just say, fuck everybody.
Who cares?
I'm getting a couple $100. Like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Exactly.
Sure.
They got a couple $100 million no matter what, allegedly, until you say, I'm getting out of the royal family.
Yeah.
I don't want your generational wealth being passed on to me for no reason. Yeah. I don't want 60 cents for every Canadian taxpayer in my family, in my trust, in my bank. Nope. I don't want that at all. We want to separate this because this is a bad thing. And we're all like, welcome to the family. We don't understand why it works either. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they're still getting paid a lot of money because they were once in the royal family, which seemingly is a big part of the royal family, is like a lot of money surrounds them. $20 million Spotify was giving Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to do a podcast.
Yeah, just ask a couple questions. They couldn't even do that.
No, Meghan Markle had her assistants do it. Said, but keep it down. We'd like to be able to dub my questions in over top of yours. I can't make it to the interview. Funny thing about that interview is it's happening when I got something else going on. Well, what do you got going on? Well, I got to go to the beach or something. Remember, I'm a fucking princess.
I'm at the pool.
Used to be a princess.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable the racket that the royal family has going on.
Ridiculous.
Now, I know the Queen obviously held a very high standard for a lot of England, and a lot of things happened, and there was a lot of decisions made, certainly, throughout the royal family's history and everything. And at one point, I think there was a lot of kings and a lot of queens and everything, but the rest of the world just kind of evolved. Not over there.
No.
Whenever this new king, whenever God Save the Queen, was kind of tossed out, and God Save the King became a thing, I watched that coronation because I was in the hospital with a baby. So that thing was happening like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. over their time. It was very early. We were up. It was the only thing on TV. It was on a bunch of channels. Holy shit. People still care.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
People still, Americans were still caring.
Royals got the juice.
Yeah, the weddings. Remember the weddings? I think it was 2017, 2018?
That was...
People were going nuts for that, waking up at 5 to watch.
Huge, but after everything that has happened in the world over the last 5 years, where a lot of enlightenment seemingly and information and everything that's taken place, I did not expect the king coronation to be as big as it is. It is. So I assume Harry and Meghan, they feel very comfortable saying, we don't have to do fucking anything.
Who cares?
They're going to pay us for whatever. They're fucking rock stars, AJ. You know, this is a real deal. People really care.
Well, they're separate. I mean, when you talk about the royal family, it's hard to put Harry and Meghan in that. They absolutely wanted out and said, we're out of here. And now they came over here and they're just 100% beloved by everybody.
Well, that South Park episode.
Man.
Oh, my.
Gold.
Oh, my. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Ooh.
Dog.
Which one? How recent is it?
Last year, I think.
Yeah.
Last season.
Well, he wrote a book. I know his book. He has all kinds of crazy stuff in there, man.
Who, Harry?
Oh, yeah. He said he killed like 20-some people or something. Confirmed all this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He said that.
Yeah.
In Afghanistan.
Yeah, he was a helicopter.
Yeah, when he was in the Royal Navy or whatever.
That redheaded dude killed how many? What happened?
Yep.
20-some.
He says he did.
20
I
scouts.
asked
Where's the
Carr
video?
about it, I think.
Where's the video? I don't know.
I think it was a helicopter pilot, so it's pretty easy to just take some people out.
Yeah, for sure. Really easy.
Yeah, there's the South Park depiction of what's going on with the Royals since they've moved over, ex-Royals.
Oh, yeah, I did. I saw that clip like this. Yeah.
Yeah, knocking on the neighbor's door. We want our privacy. Going in the building. We want our privacy. Literally for 25 minutes, pretty much. Just them screaming, we want our privacy, leave us alone in different places. And as dumb Americans, that is how I view it as well.
Yep.
But if they're offered $20 million to do 12 podcasts, that's going to be tough to say no to anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Not knocking them for that whatsoever, but the entire concept of kind of wanting to distance themselves and then just doing Oprah and podcasts and books about it. You can see why South Park went this way.
And yeah, you're cashing in on the thing that you just...
Exactly, yeah, that you just announced.
Right.
Anyways, that king was wearing this one costume during that whole thing that I thought might have been out of the 1200s, and it might have been.
Probably
was. Yeah.
Remember those
Crown
sausages?
Oh, the fingers.
Attached to his hands, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
His fingies? You got big sausage fingies?
Yeah.
What are those things?
Is it his brother who doesn't sweat, who was getting in trouble a little bit? Maybe not. He's not in trouble. He's been questioned and all different kinds of stuff.
Whoa. Doesn't sweat.
Was that his brother? Or is that, who was that?
He's talking about the island, the royal.
He got out of there too, though. He left too because he wanted to be with, is it Camilla? Whoever he left his wife for this other one.
Was that depicted in The Crown? Because I did see a couple people kind of defunct in The Crown of the family members.
The late season, right?
Is that what Silo's based off of, you think?
The Crown?
People leaving the royal family?
Actually, funny enough, Silo has taken a couple huge turns. It could be something along those lines.
Oh.
Look at those things.
Yeah, King's got fat fingers.
Wait, is something going on? Like
No. You know, I just seen a guy that was doing arm wrestling that had his mask.
that pinky ring.
That's
is
what I was
not
eating too much
coming
hot
off.
dogs.
No, he's never actually used his hands.
Sodium overload.
Look at the pinky ring, though, bro.
Gosh.
Just absolute.
What do you
dog.
mean? His finger's gonna fall off. How are you gonna
fall off?
Hurt.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? It's a tourniquet. What are you talking about?
Grow back.
This is how big they've been since he was 16.
Yeah.
This guy's been hammering tiny
We have any
beers.
other pictures of him? We have any other pictures?
There's one of him doing a thumb war, and he almost broke the other guy's hand.
Yeah, and he didn't even do the finger thing.
Nope.
Because he couldn't actually, because that finger doesn't bend with how swollen it appears to be. But he just put that big old thumb straight down and it just flattened everything in front of it.
Crushed everything.
You did the finger trick every time, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I still do that with my kids.
Yeah, wrap it around the top.
It's hard not to do it. Did you
Yeah, it
cheat?
is.
Yeah, but like my natural instinct was just to do it.
Well, and doesn't AJ's front finger just go straight up anyways?
This guy's fingers have always been overblown. You know what I mean? They've just kind of been bloated.
Yep.
You know, people say whenever you eat carbs, sometimes it goes to your hips, sometimes it goes to your ass. For the current king of England, it goes right to his fingers.
That's right.
Okay, so that's all the pasta, everything else he's eating over there. And what is English food?
Fingers and mash.
Yeah,
Fingers and mash.
fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Yeah.
Still got a king. Huh?
Hey, there's going to be another one you got to watch, too, because when he dies, his son takes over. So
That's that other one that was there.
Prince Bill.
And he
They're
had,
his brother.
he had,
Actually, the guy.
he had a pretty big role in the whole coronation thing.
Yep.
You know, because he's the next one, so he's walking right behind him.
Yeah.
They're carrying weird sticks in like different swords.
Staff.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I guess it's a staff.
It's crazy.
They were very in the costumes they were wearing was pretty weird.
Well, and you saw all the medals on the king. He also, like Henry, killed like 160 people.
Jeez.
I don't know if that was.
Yeah, sniper.
What war? What battle?
One of them.
Just a battle or two.
A battle.
He happened upon a battle
Yeah.
and he just said, "Ooh, I'm a sniper."
I think he helped liberate Kuwait. Yeah.
Let's go to the phones. I mean, he might have, but not in that fashion. Yeah. You know, the Royals were a part of a lot of countries. You know,
Of course.
I don't want to bring it up because we're not an English show.
The sun never set on them.
But I like that Bill Simmons, a sports guy, basically said these Royals are lazy as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
This is what they got offered. This is what they did in return. You want to talk about screwing a company over? This kind of happened. Sports guy went out there and said that, and then they were Bill Simmons, Spotify executive.
Yeah.
That's how it was. I didn't even think about that. I guess he is because he runs their sports department. I think so. He's executive at Spotify. Him being the one who said it, I was pumped that it was like, all right, sports guy came out and said, "What? Enough with the fucking shit."
Yeah, these grifters.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Jared in New York on the 500 phone line. What's going on, Jared?
How's it going, boys? How's it going? Keep moving.
Hell yeah, Jared.
Yeah, fuck that up. Anyway, boys, listen. So I'm a Panthers fan. Yeah, fuck that up. Trying my best not to be toxic here, right? Everyone's talking about how small Bryce Young is, all that stuff, but everyone's saying he's got a good coaching staff. My problem is, if we really look back, Frank Wright, where's his success? You could argue that was Doug Peterson. In that year, they went to the Super Bowl. You got Andy Dalton, never won a playoff game, hate to hate. And then, also you have really no senior leadership in that quarterback room. So what is there to be looking forward to down there?
What about DC EJ, right?
Yeah. Josh McCown.
Yeah.
Josh McCown doesn't count?
Deuce Staley? What
Well, 20.
Oh, my God.
Parks Frazier.
Oh, you just got a franchise quarterback.
Right.
They're
Negative.
They're spending money, you know?
Yeah. Brought in Thielen.
Thielen is on the team.
Yeah. Hayden Hurst.
Thielen looks good, too.
Yeah, he does.
Got a point to prove. We'll see him on a tall hill. I bet he's smashing the golf ball right now. There's a golf simulator in the Carolina Panthers locker room.
Pretty sick.
Time there.
Golly. Let's go to Joel down in North Carolina. Joel, what's going on down there?
That was unbelievable.
How we doing? Keep it moving.
Nailed it.
So I just wanted to call in with Pac. I've got a question for AJ at the end since it is the summer solstice. But question for you and Pac, man. What do you guys know about Ben McCollum, and why is Ren Baker not hiring him to be the next West Virginia men's basketball coach since we are in mid-June and there aren't any standout candidates?
Yeah, that's who I'm.
Yeah, Ren.
You were saying that before the show.
Yeah, hire McCollum. Parker.
What's Ren do?
Ren.
Like Parker McCollum.
Yeah.
The way he runs the triangle offense in a college basketball scene is just something that none of us really have seen before. And when you move on from somebody like Hugs, you got to get somebody that is innovative and a trailblazer. And Parker McCollum is just that. I bet you Ren's got his eyes on him.
Yeah, I'm quite sure he got his eyes on him.
Yeah. I'm thinking he does.
Yeah, Parker knows how to run the triangle off.
His name, McCollum. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Ren Baker, who is the current athletic director, who is going to get this right.
Yeah, he's going to get it right.
He's out of Stephen F. Austin. You heard about Stephen F. Austin?
I did. I heard I think it was their bowling coach who was porking one of the players, or the assistant bowling coach.
Assistant.
Yeah, so that was a story that has come out of Stone Cold Stephen F. Austin.
What?
Not to be confused about Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
Stephen F. Austin's bowling team's coach was allegedly having sex with a student athlete, got fired for it. His wife found out, not good.
No, his wife's the head coach.
Wife's the head coach, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
a little wrinkle.
He's an
she-
assistant coach, and she just recently let him be an assistant coach. She wouldn't let him coach because he was taking care of
at-home
family.
dad.
for many
Pull up
years.
his comments.
But while he was, taking care of the family, he would also be a volunteer coach, do all the practices, all the dirty work, and then his wife would just step into
But he's
the
not doing
spotlight.
anything illegal.
So he's
Got a little resentment.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Yeah, it sounds like this was a broken relationship.
Big time.
Sounds like this one's not going that great.
Unappreciated.
Let's read some of these comments being said about Stone Cold Stephen F. Austin. College bowling assistant gets fired for affair with player on team his wife coaches. She married a real gutter bowl. Jenna Levicelli Paisana, an assistant women's bowling coach at Stephen F. Austin State University, whose wife is the head coach. I missed that line. Chose to resign after the school discovered he had an affair with a member of the team. Steve Lemke, 38 years old, who is married to head coach Amber Lemke. Oh, they're going to be changing their names. Resigned from the program on April 10th. And said in a statement obtained by the Daily Sentinel that although I knew it's kind of a no-no, there's not a rule saying it can't happen, though. The outlet said it chose not to identify the student athlete who was a member of the Lady Jacks bowling team. So he's 38 years old. She's anywhere in between 18 and 22-ish on the bowling team. And Amber Lemke is really a hard-ass coach that they kind of rallied around and said, fuck this lady.
Yeah.
And we don't love it, but when bowling juices get flowing, every once in a while, some porking gets going.
Yeah, that's right.
And that is the thing about bowling, AJ.
I think they can work this out. I think this is something that they can work through. There's more quotes too where he said, I don't know if he was trying to justify it or he's trying to.
He was.
It was amazing. Like this guy's a treat.
There's nothing in stone. Okay, I guess it's just an ethics code, like we frown upon it, but there's no rule. There's no law broken here. Stephen and Amber have since filed for divorce, according to court records. Stephen F. Austin Athletic Director Ryan Ivey said, although Lemke and the student athletes are two consenting adults, they violated the university's relationship rules and also the head coach's rule, which is don't fuck my husband.
But what'd she bowl? Can we find out what the student athlete bowled?
She was averaging 185.
Pretty good.
They got better. The team got better when this guy came and started taking over more.
Well, it started getting more reps because he was doing all the extra hours. He was playing all these seeds on this bowling alley, and he was reading the oil patterns. And then one day, all of a sudden, things started popping off with two holes, not all three of them being
It is a
used.
very sexual sport, but I believe Stephen F. Austin was always on
I was gonna
TV,
yeah.
the championships.
Really?
Funny you mention that because we always have CBS Sports Network on the lower left, and they love to showcase the female NCAA bowling championships. Stephen F. Austin's got a program.
Yeah, the Lady Jacks don't fuck around whenever it comes to balls and pins.
No, they don't.
Neither does that guy.
Used to. I don't know if he's going to get hired again.
I doubt it.
Are they both fired or are they keeping the head coach?
Do you want that assistant coach on your operation? He turned on his own wife. I mean, like,
He might become the head coach now, and they fire his wife because the team got better when he.
Yeah, exactly.
oh no, what if this is like a revolt and they say, fuck it, we'll fuck each other, and then that'll be the reason
Yeah.
that we kind of make this whole thing happen. We don't know, still a lot of questions, but it turns out that the bowling community is going through their own little scandal right now.
Yep.
And we're pulling for all parties to be happy.
It's like the Koresh of Stephen F. Austin. But hey, if you have sex with me, you'll bowl a perfect game.
Whoa.
Would you do that? Would you fuck this guy?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you would.
I don't know, bowl 300.
Would you
But
let
yeah,
him bang
if I'm
you?
going up against
Fucking
Pete Weber, bowling a
sign me
300 and beating him,
Would you tug on it a little bit?
You got
So you're thinking about it.
well,
I'll tell you what, there is some times where you're at a bowling alley and you think to yourself, this feels like a sport I'd like to be really good at.
yeah.
But then you roll like a 150, 160, you're like, I'm pretty good. All right.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a good time. I'm going to come back later. But you get in there with some guys that are really players.
Yeah.
I've been to a couple of events where guys have their whole fucking kit and
yeah.
caboodle,
Wrist guard.
their own ball and everything. And it's like, damn, it is down to a science. They are doing this for real. But they are having nowhere near as much fun as everybody else that is just throwing that thing as hard as they possibly can. And every once in a while, I'll go a couple triangles over and I'll go ahead and check the watch. And I'll get a little spin. I'll hit the pocket. Boom. We can throw up the X's.
Yep.
We're happy. And that's bowling's a great pastime. Not whenever your husband is fucking one of your players, though.
No, definitely not.
All right, we have some breaking news out of the NBA world. A Shams bomb, if you will. Source says the Wizards, Celtics, and Clippers are in strong talks on a trade that would send Kristaps Porzingis to Boston, Marcus Morris in draft compensation to Washington, and Malcolm Brogdon to Los Angeles. The Clippers. Sides are still working through details in Porzingis' $36 million player option. Brad Stevens is up there making plays. Kristaps Porzingis, he was supposed to be the guy. Remember? Real tall.
Yeah,
real athletic.
Yeah.
Been through a couple different teams and situations,
Yeah.
and now he's the missing piece for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, funny enough, he's not. This is an absolutely abysmal idea. Malcolm Brogdon just had his best season.
Brad Stevens doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, maybe he doesn't, because he just won the Sixth Man of the Year, and guess what? 2 years ago, we went to the finals. This year, we went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So did we get worse? Some people would say we did. And Kristaps Porzingis is one of those guys who, hey, if he sprains his ankle, sure, he might be out for 2 weeks, but might be out for 2 months. And that is exactly what we didn't need. Actually, one of the positions that we have guys at is that center position. But, you know, who cares about Malcolm Brogdon, who, again, like I said, won the Sixth Man of the Year award, one of the better portions of our team while our team was
they're
struggling.
breaking up the team anyways.
I didn't think Brogdon was going to be part of that. I thought that was more of a Marcus Smart, maybe Robert Williams side of a breakup. I did not expect it to be Brogdon, so that absolutely sucks.
Bad news out of Boston.
That's a gut punch.
Bad news out of Boston, AJ in Connor's eyes, and he's the only person from Boston that we are hearing from at this exact moment. So we will act as if he represents the entire city and fan base of the Celtics.
Yeah, the only maybe saving grace is that Brogdon, if you remember at the end of the year, he tore something in his elbow. So perhaps there is something worse in that sense, and maybe that's why they're doing this.
Oh, so you're hoping.
I'm not hoping for anything.
Kind of, though.
I am hoping that we win this trade, absolutely. And I'm hoping they know more than me about the health of Malcolm Brogdon and Porzingis.
And we hope the Sixth Man of the Year is healthy and back on that court as soon as possible.
Exactly. Being so good in the Western Conference.
Let's go to Kane in Alabama. The Devils joining us. What's going on, pal?
What's going on, boys? How we doing?
Keep it moving.
You know, I've heard my fair share of would you suck a dick hypotheticals, but I think that might be the first would you suck a dick to bowl a perfect 300, so I appreciate that.
Kane, it was not that.
You didn't say that.
It was actual sex, I believe. Anyways, Kane, let's move along. We're past that, and none of us are going to roll a 300, I do fear.
Anyway, I apologize.
It's okay, Kane.
I was going to hit you guys with an off-season hypothetical. Long road trip. You stop at a gas station. You got to get a drink. You got to get a snack. What are you grabbing?
Okay. Well, where am I headed? Where am I coming from?
Long road trip, cross country.
Where am I going to? Where am I coming from?
You're driving to New Mexico from Indianapolis.
For what? What am I going there for?
Sightseeing trip.
Cook meth.
Fucking no.
Well, I mean, you're the hypothetical fucking guy here, Kane.
Add on to it.
Figure it out. How am I supposed to? Oh, you're driving down the street. Okay. Am I in the middle of a fat time of year?
You're on your way to WrestleMania. In the RV, you stop at a gas station. You got to get a drink. You got to get a snack. What are you grabbing?
Okay. Am I wrestling at WrestleMania?
No, you're not worried about your physique.
Thank you. Great hypothetical, Kane, asshole. How'd you get there? Jeez.
Is that the Kane?
I just want to ask, we don't. I don't know. Great name.
Yep.
If it is good hypothetical. So I'm probably going Sprite. I'm gonna grab a Sprite.
Not
We'll
a
talk
story.
about that. Not that I know that you drink a few of those stories, you might be in a Zion conversation. I don't need that. I am a weight fluxing guy. And the snack of choice is always going to be Reese's for me. Always going to be Reese's. But if it's too hot, I have to go with chip or beef jerky or something like that.
Sure.
I'm going with the
jerky chew.
Yeah, I'm going with the shredded jerky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just so I can do this.
The dip, the stuff you use when you're a kid, is dip.
Just so I can do this while I'm walking out. You know, everybody can kind of see it and hear it. And then while you're driving too, it lasts a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you act like you're making the most of this whole thing. But I'm going with Reese's pretty much every single time. If they have the egg shaped,
sure,
I'm going with that one over all of the others.
Okay.
AJ, your thoughts? Give me white rice and chicken.
Yep.
You should have got a Slurpee instead of that Sprite, though.
I don't do the Slurpees.
Oh, so good.
Don't do it.
Drink that out of a straw. Yeah, bingo.
I will drink out of a straw, but I do not drink Slurpees. I actually hate the sound. So, yeah. So I'm not inviting that into the car through my mouth.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If that whole thing happens.
Oh, you spoon it in.
Well, yeah, with the cool-looking straw.
Yep.
Oh,
Was that debated on with Coach JB or not? The spoon
was.
straw?
I don't think he covered that portion of it.
Because that's a game changer. I'm not a big Slurpee guy. AJ, what are you going with if you're, back before you had
Good question.
one meal all the time, every meal?
When you're 10.
Well, that's not the case now either, but I would probably hopefully they have the pellet ice in the fountain situation. I want the pellet ice with an ice cold Pepsi. If they had wild cherry Pepsi, that's a huge bonus.
Okay.
Mountain Dew would be great.
Okay.
Mountain Dew would be amazing. And actually, when you showed that lineup of that convenience store, Swedish Fish are pretty good. I could go for some of those.
Okay,
I do like
sugar guy. Yeah. Pac-Man also a
Or
sugar.
crunchy. Chex Mix, too. I like Chex Mix.
Yeah, those are great. How about those ones that it's like Chex Mix with a coating on top of it?
Gardettos?
No, it's like
Puppy Chow?
Muddy Buddy?
Puppy Chow, yeah.
Not
Puppy Chow.
It is
People
Puppy
make
Chow, but
Puppy
it's
Chow.
Chex Mix is Muddy Buddies.
Yeah, they've made the homemade shit into a bagged operation.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
So good.
I will get those every once in a while.
Yep.
That is a good mixture of the salt and the chocolate. I'm a chocolate fan myself. I know you're a sugar guy, though. Pac, what are you going with out of there?
I'm going with the Crush Ice, Red Bull, Watermelon, Nerds, Gummy Nerds, Sour, and then Chewies.
So that is exactly what you brought in today.
Yep.
That is actually out here. So the hypothetical Kane presented
Tootsie Rolls.
was a Wednesday for Pac-Man Jones on his way from Cincinnati to Indianapolis, which is a road trip.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
is.
On his way to work, doing the whole thing. And then 3 Copenhagens.
3 Copenhagens.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
On
sense.
way out.
Because you're stopping in an hour. Yeah.
Gotta have it.
Connor, you did Thanksgiving at a gas station.
I did.
Times. I don't know if that differs from your
It does.
road trip. What are you doing? Funyuns and chocolate milk, right?
That was
that
the
is-
That's what he
combo.
did Thanksgiving.
That is
yeah.
the Thanksgiving gas station trip, and you throw in a black and mild or two if it's on Thanksgiving.
Oh, to celebrate.
Exactly, yeah. Might as well sit outside. Honestly, I'm more of a not the case of M&Ms, but like the half bag that you got to like peel open. Peanut M&Ms, I would do that.
Share size.
Yeah, share size. Don't share them though, because everyone's getting a snack.
And they're melting, so I don't have to.
And they're melting, yeah. This is very rare, but if you do happen upon a Baja Blast canned Mountain Dew, I would go with that for sure. Or I would maybe run back the chocolate milk, depending on how hungry I was, because I know I'm also having that bag of peanut M&Ms.
Okay.
Anybody going Bugles?
No. Bugles are good. I don't know if I'm only getting one or two things. I don't know if Bugles.
Nope.
There was a time though down in Tampa when we were walking to that gas station where I fell in love with the Bugles.
It was a great 7-Eleven.
Oh, yeah.
I was going go boats on the way in. Go boats, go boats, go boats. It was in the middle of the NHL playoff push for the Lightning that had already won one, looking to win back to back. They did. Right to the Bugles is where I was heading actually at one point in my life. Not now, but at one point. Bugles had a good run.
Yeah, Bugles are delicious.
You like Bugles, AJ? You ever try them? No, probably not.
I've had them. They're all right.
Doesn't work with his fingies.
You got to be in the mood.
Yeah, because you can't put your fingers on them because the little caps are heading fucking east.
Yep.
Instead of
This
you know what I mean?
sucks.
Exactly.
I understand. That's probably why you don't
Red
like
Vines. Red Vines are legit. Way better than Twizzlers.
No.
They have Red Vines.
I'm not a big Twizzler guy.
The nerds.
I'm not either.
ropes.
Red Vines are way different.
Red Vines are they're longer, right?
No, they look just like Twizzlers,
you
but
can
they taste
peel
way better.
One at a time, you can peel them off.
I'm not a big sugar guy. That nerd rope thing he's brought in here though.
Delicious.
That thing's real
You
deal.
gotta get the 4-pack.
Gummy Nerds.
The giant chewy sweet tarts.
Oh,
So good.
Very sweet.
Ty, what are you going with?
Probably do like a cherry Dr. Pepper. And then
That's very good.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
Oh yeah. And then
Because I saw your eyes light up when he said cherry Pepsi, so that made you think.
I love WCP. I'm not a Pepsi guy, but I will fuck with
Hell yeah.
WCP for sure.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably do like a cherry Dr. Pepper, and then either a king size Snickers or some spicy Doritos.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what, two different options there. Doritos are a
You know
great
what?
snack.
Really?
The Snickers ice cream bars, if they have those.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
On the phone.
Hey, those are the best ones. I think the Snickers one's
By
the best
far.
one.
Are the best one.
Twix, not bad.
Solid.
Choco Taco.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just the one.
Just the bars.
that
That was the greatest treat we could ever get. If we went to somebody's house and you got a Snickers ice cream bar, or for some reason you had them at your house for some reason, they are always gone in 3 seconds. But yeah. those
Are you a
amazing.
liability, though, if you have ice cream on a road trip?
RV.
No, because you got to eat it quick.
Yeah, you got to get the singular. You're not buying a box. You buy a box, get the fuck out of the car. Do you have a fridge in your Astro?
Man, ice cream, that changed. Oreo cookie sandwich then, if we're doing that.
No, you know what? I like the old classic chocolate chip.
Chocolate.
Oh, just
yeah.
a big bopper.
Yeah.
Good.
I think that is Snickers is number one though. The ice cream Snickers on the way out of the door.
Yeah.
That they put right there.
Little slider.
So good.
Already checked out. Got to get back in line. Ha.
Got to do it.
Let me do it. And if the Snickers one's out and they got that cookie one next to it, I will I will dabble. Can't be too cold though. You know, like
No.
that's just like some chocolate stuff. Can't get if it's too hot. Like summer, you know, not a good. Some of the chocolate shit can't do during the summer because it's a nightmare.
Yeah, Hershey's.
Tony, you're wrapping it up here, pal. Let's make it good as we get out of here.
Snyder's of Berlin barbecue chips with a Smart Water with the squeeze cap.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Well
Water.
I'll take a Turner's iced tea and a little
You
mini.
getting water no matter what,
Hell
Tone?
Yeah, I'm a water all the time guy.
Really?
Okay.
That's because he had that heart thing. Remember?
If you had
Those
to choose,
many
would you get a
gallons.
Pepsi, Coke, Mountain Dew? If you had,
I would get a ginger ale.
it
Nice.
tastes good too.
Ginger ale, pretty good.
I love
Flat ginger ale.
How about combos? Anyone say combos?
I do like
Combos is my go-to. That would have been my answer.
Pizza one.
Yep.
Yeah, pizza or cheddar, and then that Gatorade with the nipple top
That's
that's
it, yeah, the
blue.
nipple top,
That's
you
the
got it.
best
Come on,
one.
don't make it
Then-
sexual.
Well, no, but then
It's
when
not,
you're
you
driving,
made it sexual. We're talking about bottles in stores.
Why are you talking
Yeah.
nipples? You don't need to talk about nipples.
Because
It's
you
actually
actually suck
called
on
the
it.
nipple
That's what-
top.
It's a pop top.
yeah,
The
you
pop
can
top.
you can do the crooner while
What
you
are you talking about,
drink it.
dude?
Got to find a way to monetize this.
He fucking hate it.
Trust in my decal.
Zito, what are you going with?
I love Bugles all the way, but Doritos is my number one.
What kind?
What drink?
Kind.
I go just nacho cheese. I love the nacho
Oh,
cheese.
the Ridge.
Dude, Doritos did figure it out.
Yeah,
Oh,
Cool
yeah.
Ranch too.
But that's the
Cool
whole
Ranch.
thing there.
Exactly.
I'm the purple bag guy.
Spicy.
I think those
Takis?
are so good.
Takis?
No, purple
No.
Dorito bag.
Oh, you guys know Takis? My kids love Takis.
Oh, yeah.
My kids love Takis too.
What
Yuck.
is it? Chips?
It's
Hey,
some
That when we
chips
left the Suns
mixed
game,
with-
they were just
they
handing
hot,
those
though.
out.
Spicy
Oh,
and
they're
weird
so
and
gross.
blue. Yeah.
Those hot fries had a little run there for a bit.
Yeah.
I ate those for a good amount of time. I don't like anything that gets super.
Yeah.
Got to wear gloves.
Yeah, which is tough because is it in a gas station or not? Has Dahmer shopped here?
Oh,
Need
Bill.
gloves. Oh, geez, Bill.
Well,
Bill, you didn't deserve that.
Bill.
Might though.
Nick, what are you going with? You got pasta, rigatone on the way out?
I wish, man. I wish. But no, it's pretty standard Slurpee, Smart Water like Tone mentioned, and then the Chewy Sweet Tarts. Maybe some combos.
And I need a donut and 2% milk.
Don't sleep
Yeah,
on the
take those
gas
too.
station hot dog.
I agree. If you need it,
Not
certainly
eating a
the-
hot dog.
I would
not.
the
sleep
bunch-
on it.
Your fingers will turn into the kings if you eat too many of those. Nick had just a cup of milk earlier today before we wanted
With?
a donut, but it just seemed so like pure. Like what a moment there. I looked over. He had a white see-through plastic cup, and he was drinking it. I had to just.
That a boy.
Was that the cup or is it what's in there? And I watched him take like 3-4 different swigs of this thing. I'm like, that motherfucker's drinking milk.
Holy shit.
I've never seen an adult
So good.
so long just have a nice cup of milk.
Do you have milk there in the fridge?
I think
Or do
you
you bring-
dash marted it. I think.
Yeah, I brought it in today.
You brought in the milk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had donuts and muffins. I needed some milk.
What?
Wait, it wasn't the little carton, wasn't the little pint you get at school.
No.
No,
it was a
big
1 liter.
Big
1
one.
liter. It had 2 1 liters for some reason.
It's unbelievable.
Donuts,
Gonna
man.
take one home with me.
It's a good breakfast, Nick.
It's unbelievable. He was so genuinely fulfilled too. Like so
Pumped
much
about it.
joy radiating as it was like a cool moment over there. And I'm like,
I love it.
it is 10:45.
I saw him dunking it.
Were you?
I dunked.
Yeah, that's the move.
Why
Oh
not?
my God, make yourself.
What kind of
at home.
donut?
Chocolate.
Oh, we got some good
Chocolate
donuts
glaze.
in here.
Yeah.
Jock's Donuts. Jock's Donuts. So Chuck and the owner of Jock, whose name is something Line, last name is Line. Chuck and this guy have a great relationship. This guy, good guy. I think he's done a lot of great things with Chuck Strong and everything like that. He owns a donut company here. So anytime Chuck Pagano stops by here, he brings 4 dozen fucking donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are, like every one of them, delicious. So Chuck stopped in here yesterday. He was in town. Great to see him. Love that man. He looks good. Good tan right now.
Oh, yeah.
Hair is
Great.
Yeah, he looks real good.
he looked real good, enjoying his summer. Remember, he had that 33rd team interview with Harbaugh that we all enjoyed just a couple weeks ago. Excited to get back in the season with him. But he'll bring 4 dozen donuts in here, and then he doesn't eat a single one of them.
No, he
Because
doesn't.
I'm on a Peloton 3 times a day. I'm in shape. It's like, well, then no fucking, what are you
Yeah, what the hell?
What are you bringing that for us?
It's like what Bill did a couple weeks ago.
And yeah, exactly. Bill, in his 3rd day of Murph training, whenever he's wearing a weighted vest around the office, and all of a sudden he brings 2 days, donut day. Doesn't eat a single one of them.
No, he
That's
didn't.
fucked up.
And he like takes it around in front of your.
Who wants one? Who wants one?
I'll
Oh, I
take it.
bought these. You don't want any?
Whoa, what the hell?
I'll take it.
Pac-Man can eat it all.
I'll take it.
Ulysses is over there fucking hammering.
Yeah. The best.
Bucket.
Got it. Oh, bounce back. Oh, angle of that.
AJ, how much money are you giving away?
6 merches.
Nah, money. You,
Money.
your money.
6 merches and
It's Wednesday. Winter Wednesday.
6.
What do we usually give?
What do you usually get?
Maybe 40 gas station snacks.
Okay.
We should give away scratch-offs. Those are good gifts.
Ty delivered scratch-offs to me. I don't know what holiday it was. Might have been my birthday.
It was your birthday, yep.
With one of the most sincere congratulations. You just won $7.5 million as he handed it to me. And then walked away, played the bit off the entire time. And then somebody else, like I was in the middle of a conversation, and I looked down at it, 22 scratch-offs. And you had to have done the math of all the winners.
Oh, yeah.
And you just delivered it as if I want to let you know.
Yeah, probably didn't win anything.
Not a single fucking one. Not even a $3 or a $5 on a $20 one.
Nope. Come on.
Not a single one of them. God damn it. Somebody just hit $1 million on Shop and Save in Washington County, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Probably Gene Steratore. Look for him to retire.
Of course. Golf this morning.
Ow, fuck. Jabba.
What happened?
The track. There it is.
It's not falling again.
Still got 2 of them.
Yeah, that's good.
Couple left.
Yeah.
Push the TV back a little bit.
This TV?
TV's in the way?
Soft, dude.
Yeah, he made one earlier.
Kind of just a little, so we got TV here, obviously, for Ty and Connor to look at.
Uh-huh.
We got TV up there for Ty and Connor to look at. That box right behind Connor's ass right there, that is all the audio for the whole fucking stage.
Yeah. Rested of water on there for too long one time.
Did we know that that's how it was going to be set up? Absolutely not, but that box, pretty vital to the entire operation.
That can't go behind the wall or anything?
Nope.
No, it has to be on the stage.
Yep.
RFIDs.
I'll tell you what, AJ, we don't know, you know?
This place will explode.
I didn't go to some fucking audio technical school.
No.
Speaking of
I had some similar questions, though. Is it anywhere?
Has to be there.
Anywhere? You know, anywhere?
Okay.
What's it?
I would say, speaking of audio, it's a highly volatile audio situation. But I don't know if you can hear Knox 20,000 leagues below the sea floor, but
sure.
All right, how about this? I make a shot, they're alive.
Okay, here we go. Real stakes.
Holy shit.
Here we go.
Real stakes. I like it.
Oh my
Don't
God,
kill 'em.
dude.
It's 5 people.
Let's go.
I got 2 balls. I got 2
Yeah,
balls.
you got two balls.
2 balls.
Two balls.
2 balls. Holy hell. We're talking about the submersive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tight.
They had 50 hours.
The tube that these.
You want to go real odds and go hook shot?
No. Standard 3-pointer.
Yep.
If I make one of these shots, I think we should think that the universe is letting us know that there's a chance that they are alive.
Okay. And if you miss.
There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golly, there's a billionaire down there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
If you miss, they died the worst death of all time.
I got you, buddy. Wow. Yes! Yes! I got you. All right, so now we know. Let's look to hear from them at least tonight or tomorrow. Can't wait for that. We'll be back with another big-time program. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this every single day. You're the greatest humans on earth. Be a friend. Tell us, not just a friend, maybe a stranger.
Yeah.
Sure. Let them know.
Be a friend. Tell a human something nice might change your life. Goodbye.